Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia on a bright, blustery day for college football. Syracuse playing for postseason berth, knowing that the last time the Orange came to Philly, they got a loss. Can Temple pull off yet another upset? We'll find out next in the Big East Football Conference Game of the Week. Welcome, everybody, to Philadelphia. Big East football on the air today as Syracuse pays a visit to the Temple Owls. We check out the standings in the Big East Conference. Can you believe this? Syracuse still has a chance to win the Big East title. They'll need lots of help, and it'll start today by knocking off this Temple Owls ball club. Hi again, everybody. Along with John Kajemi, I'm Dave Sims. Glad you could join us. And let's talk about Temple right off the get-go. Their quarterback, Walter Washington, is one of the dynamic performers in all of college football. He's the main guy Syracuse must stop today.
Well, for Temple's offense, it all starts with the quarterback because he can beat you on the ground, but also underrated passer is Walter Washington. 7 touchdown passes and over 1,700 yards through the season. 19 total touchdowns. He has 12 of those rushing, and that's where he can beat you, running the football. Big, strong, confident quarterback that really loves to run the option on the edge. But last week, his head coach, Bobby Wallace, said it was the finest performance of the season. 3 total touchdowns. He had over 115 yards and 117 yards running the football, over 200 yards throwing the football, Dave. So this is a guy that is on a bit of a roll. They just haven't shown up in the W column. So they're going to try to do that today, run the football effectively, and see a lot of running number 11.
Well, Pasqualoni said this is a classic trap game. Now, while Temple has its main guy available, Syracuse does not have the same luxury. Walter Reyes, their outstanding running back, last week against Pittsburgh, it was senior day, and he got the Orange on the board early. But then later on in the game, he takes the shot from Tez Morris. Shoulder out, and he could be out for a while, and he will not be available today. So that means somebody's got to carry a load. And here's what Walter Reyes has done to this point. He's all over the record books at Syracuse University. We'll detail that. So who fills the void today?
Well, it's going to have to be Damian Rhodes. And that's the guy. It's been the 1-2 punch for the Orange offense all season long. Last week against Pittsburgh, 103 rushing yards and a touchdown in overtime. He has 7 total touchdowns, but he hasn't played for 4 quarters. That's going to be the test. Can he play at a high level in the 4th quarter as he starts the game in the 1st quarter? And for Temple, they'll have to gang tackle him.
Sure enough, and Walter Reyes exchanging some pleasantries and some counseling with Damian Rhodes. We'll hear from Walter Reyes coming up next here from Philly.
Get an eyeful of the Hyundai Sonata, named highest-ranked entry midsize car in initial quality by J.D. Power and Associates. The Sonata is handsomely styled, loaded with standard features, and built with a commitment to initial quality that lets Hyundai offer America's best warranty. 10 years.
Napa, get the good stuff. Back to Lincoln Financial Field, everybody. We're moments away from the kickoff today. Temple and Syracuse. And joining us right now is Syracuse running back Walter Reyes, out with a shoulder injury. And Walter, first of all, tell us, will you be able to return for the game in 2 weeks against BC?
I hope so. My shoulder's really sore right now. But I've been working with the training staff every day. They're getting 3 treatments a day, and it's feeling a lot better by each day. So hopefully I'll be ready to go when we play BC.
With you not available, Walter Rhodes is going to get the play today. Can he carry a big load today?
Oh yeah, definitely. Damian has done a great job over his career of preparing himself. If something did happen, like myself getting injured, he stepped in big time last week in a big time game against Pitt and did very well. So Damian is more than ready to carry the load.
All right. Postseason wise, so you hope to be available. Real quick, on today's game, this is going to be a heck of a test for you against the Temple team.
Oh yeah, Temple's a very hungry team. Coach Bobby Wallace has his team always ready, and we're here at their stadium, and it's going to be a an interesting matchup because you know, they have a great quarterback in Walter Washington. They have a great linebacking core on defense, so it's a big challenge for us.
Postseason aspirations, do you think you guys can get into a bowl this year?
Definitely. That's the main goal. You know, that's why we play this game, you know, to play hard and get victories, and hopefully with a win today will make us bowl eligible.
Well, good to see you. Best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you back in the field in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Paul Pasqualoni, his ball club, will get the ball to start today's action. Temple won the toss, and they deferred. And John Kinjemi, let's take a look at your Napa keys to the game, brought to you by Napa Auto Care Centers.
Well, I think for Paul Pasqualoni and the Orange, they have to dominate the line of scrimmage. Without Walter Reyes in there, Damian Rhodes carrying the load, Adam Terry, Jason Green, Matt Turillo, they have to create some openings for the running game. And also they have to gang tackle. They have to get on Walter Washington a lot, not let him beat him, not a one-man gang beat them on defense.
And for Bobby Wallace and the Temple Owls, coming off a loss last week, 42-21 at West Virginia, their keys.
Well, on the flip side, you know, run Walter Washington. He has to, nothing cute, just run their offense and make him the focal point. And defensively, if I'm their defense, I want to pound Damian Rhodes and show me that he can beat me for 4 quarters.
Damian Rhodes, outstanding performer, great change of pace guy when you tandem him with Walter Reyes. And Rhodes is back there deep to receive the opening kickoff along with Diamond Ferry. We'll talk a lot about Diamond Ferry. He's a guy that forms so many roles here for the Syracuse Orangemen. Ryan Lux, a junior from Wildomar, California, has it teed up, and we are ready for action here at Lincoln Financial Field. Glad you could join us. A high kick and short. Ferry bobbles at about the 7, picks it up there, and he's swarmed under and taken down. Pretty good kick coverage. Justin Johnson, a backup defensive back, makes the tackle for Temple. So Ferry, we'll see, we may even see him on short yardage situation. Here's a look at Perry Patterson from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Big Eagles fan, so you know he's excited about playing here in Philly today with a lot of friends and family on hand. 7th in the Big East in passing yards per game. Boy, he is a big quarterback, too, at 6'4", 250. Joe Kovaleski resets, tight end on the right side. They bring Steve Gregory in motion, and here's Rhodes, and he breaks one already. 25-yard line and run out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and he's run out of bounds by one of the DBs. And that's Ray Lamb. As we take a look at the backs and receivers, Steve Gregory's led the club in receptions the last 3 weeks. Breon Evans getting the start at fullback with Greg Hanoyan out with a hand injury. Matt Turillo made academic All-American for the 3rd straight year. Pretty good offensive line. Adam Terry's a guy that the pro scouts have liked for a long time as well. 13-yard gain by Rhodes on that first play. Kovaleski in motion. Patterson with his first throws short, and he's got Bryce Moss. Moss caught his first pass his career last week, and he picks up about 8 here to the 35-yard line. Bryce Moss is the cousin of the Vikings All-Pro Randy Moss. Temple on defense, they like to crow about their linebackers. More on them in a second. When we were here a few weeks ago, Mendenhall and Wormley and Lindsay, they had outstanding games. Bennett and Wallace are the two guys that everybody talks about, the number 1 and 2 tacklers on this ball club. 2nd down and short for the Orange, and they go to Rhodes. Got a good block on the edge, and a pretty good tackle by Ray Lamb. Lamb prevents some more damage because Rhodes was out there. He had the first down and more.
Well, Dave, early Syracuse offensively is showing you a little bit of everything, and we'll talk about that secondary, Ray Lamb, who came up on that play, but they like to pressure the corners, and they have 2 good corners, but they've been decimated with injuries.
That has been a problem all year for the Temple Owls. Defensively, they're ranked last in the Big East Conference, giving up 438 yards a game. Jared Jones was the motion man. And now they give it to Rhodes, and he tried to bounce it outside. Nothing doing there. Good play by Sadiq Kante, the Owl safety. He's number 35, senior out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, Dave, early in this game, the Orange offense have shown you a little bit of everything. They've seen Rhodes get to the outside. They've had an option play, a little pass to the freshman, Rice Moss. So they've done a little bit of everything. But the one thing they have done is they get Rhodes to the outside. His season numbers, he's a home run hitter. He can make you miss, and he has 7 touchdowns on the season, and he's been gashing people through the tackle.
Rhodes flanks to the top of your screen, and they bring in Jeremy Sellers. Here's a rollout. Patterson got time, throwing it deep down the middle, and Jones, the intended receiver's overthrown as Patterson really took a lick in there. It's interesting. It looked like quarterback Patterson thought that Jones was going to take it deeper downfield, but Jones had...
It was a bad angle.
Yeah.
It was a very bad angle, and Perry Patterson thought he had somebody down the field. Perry's numbers on the season, you see the touchdown interception ratio at 6s, but he's done a good job, and he's gotten better every game.
That route by Jones, he could have smoothed that off going straight across the field. Rhodes carries 21 yards. Here's Patterson, got time, and that ball got knocked out. A.J. Lindsey, number 74, raised up and knocked that pass down, and that's going to force a punt.
Well, we talked to Bobby Wallace about that defensive unit yesterday, and he said they haven't played that poorly this year. They just have been a victim to injury and bad field position, so he expected his team to come out and play well off of that tough loss last week at West Virginia.
Here's Brendan Carney. He's back home. He's from Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Went to Malvern Prep. Bill Porter back to receive. Carney, the number 2 punter to Adam Gressel in the Big East Conference and 14th nationally. Gets off a low liner. That's not a good one. Bounces at the 30, and it takes a Temple bounce to about the 29-yard line. So not much on that punt, just 27 yards on that punt. So decent field position for the Temple Owls to open up on the offensive side of things as they get a stop against Syracuse in the opening possession. Walter Washington, what a campaign he's had. 55% completion. Leads the Big East with 12 touchdowns. And he's a guy that, when we saw him here a few weeks ago, a lot he can do. Temple runs up the middle on the first play of the game. Take a look at that Temple lineup. Phil Goodman's their number 1 receiver. He's got 38 catches. A bunch of tall receivers. Goodman, Chukwu, and Ibe are all very tall at 6'4", 6'3", and 6'3". On that offensive line, C.J. Bloomvall was in the Swedish Marines. And this group has done a pretty good job protecting for Walter Washington. They don't have to give him but so much room. He can get through there. Second down, and Washington completes his first throw, and he's got a first down and more. Got it outside to Ikechukwu, the senior out of Largo, Maryland. First down, Temple. Gain of 15 on that play. Good throw. Syracuse on the defensive side of things. Syracuse 6th in defense in the conference this year. Watch for James Weiss. He was co-defensive player of the week 2 weeks ago. Jerry Mackey, 75 tackles. He's tied for the lead on the team with Diamond Ferry. Kelvin Smith has 2 interceptions. First and 10 for Temple. Ball's at the Owls 48. And they try to run with Tim Brown, the junior from Stockton, California. Not a lot doing there as he runs to the left. Tackle made by James Weiss. Diamond Ferry, Paul Pasqualone simply says about him, he's a football player. You name it, he'll do it. We may see him in short yardage situations as well. The good news, DeAndre Lakai is healthy, so that means Smith and Ferry are playing at their normal positions, and their rotation is not affected the way it was last week when Lakai was playing with a bad shoulder.
Yeah, and Dave, both of those guys are going to have to tackle well because you're going to see Walter Washington break on the edge. It'll be Diamond Ferry and Anthony Smith making the majority of the tackles.
Second down and 9. Temple at its own 49. And a throw, and about a yard short of a first down to Ikechukwu. Chukwu came in with 24 catches, picked up 8 on that play. He's the second leading receiver on the ball club behind Phil Goodman.
Well, Dave, there's a big wind, and we haven't really mentioned it a lot, but we saw it on the opening kickoff, and now we're seeing Temple move into a little bit of a high-paced offense, and they're with that wind right now, and you see them throwing the football a little bit more than normal to open or to start a football game. And Walter Washington, if he gets hot early in this game, that could spell trouble for the Orange in their defense.
That's why Temple, when they won the toss, deferred, try to run Washington off the edge, and Syracuse was waiting for that. They got absolutely nothing. James Weish, number 90, ran that play down from behind.
Boy, and they got an excellent spot, did Temple, on the near side linesman. I'm not sure if Walter Washington gained enough yardage for the first down, but with the spot, it looks like he may have it.
Washington, 6'2", 240. 21 rushes, $117 last week, 2 touchdowns against West Virginia. He threw it 16 for 24, 206, a touchdown and a pick, and he does pick up the first down. Well, not a bad campaign for Washington. I mean, when you consider, he's a one-man band. This ball club's still looking for its first conference win this year, but Washington's 6th in Big East rushing, 5th in passing yards per game, 4th in total offense, number 1 in scoring, and 7th in passing efficiency.
He's had an unbelievable season, and for a one-win football team, 19 total touchdowns, and that leads the Big East. But he's done a nice job of mixing it. You know, you think of him as a runner, but he can throw the football given time.
No question about it. He's got a 1st and 10. He's in Syracuse territory at the 42. They run the little guy, Tim Brown. Look at that leg drive. He ran through the tackle of Jerry Mackey. Jerry Mackey for a couple of yards there. Impressive play.
Yeah, not a big guy, Tim Brown. 5'8", 185-pound junior out of Stockton, California, and did a good job running against Jerry Mackey that time. And you have to credit that offensive line. All Tim Brown needs is a small crease to get through, but Walter Washington is the key. You have to watch him faking to Tim Brown and getting on the edge.
Second down at 6 at the 38 of Syracuse. Brown trying to get around the corner. Does well to get close to the line of scrimmage. Pretty good force in there by Anthony Smith, the free safety.
Terrific pursuit on that play, and Tim Brown trying to go to the short side, but Anthony Smith would have nothing of it. Anthony did a great job last week switching from his safety position up to the corner, and in the season he's 3rd in tackles with 64, 2 interceptions, but the 3 block kicks are probably the highlight of his season. He's done an outstanding job on special teams, and he's a guy that's a sure tackler. In the open field, Paul Pasqualoni can count on him making the tackle.
3rd down and 5 at the 37. Temple goes with a cluster of receivers, top of your screen. Long count by Washington. Hands, fires, and he's got a receiver good for the first down. It's Phil Goodman, and the spot is going to be inside the 31-yard line. Good for a first down for Temple. It's a good-looking drive by these Owls. 6 yards on that pickup. 2 years ago, Syracuse came in here and lost 17-16. And Callum Barber missed an extra point late in the game. Talking to Paul Pasqualoni, said, I can still hear the bonk. I remember the bonk.
It's a bad dream.
That was at the vet. And Boston College and West Virginia. Eagles leading. BC at 2-1. And there's a nice run by Tim Brown, starting inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. So this is a nice drive that started back at the 29-yard line, and Temple pretty methodical, moving right down the field against the Syracuse Orange Ball Club. Defensively, 6th in the conference. Temple, total offense-wise, is 5th in the Big East.
Well, Dave, the key will be, can Temple score 7? They have to come in, and they've had an excellent drive already, 9 plays and 46 yards, but they have to cash in for 7 points.
Second down at 4 at the 24. Now the whistle blows. Brown 5 rushes for 15 yards. Washington 3 for 3 passing for 30 yards to this point. Referee today is Dennis Hennigan. Play clock wasn't running, so they got that reset. And it's good for the players at both ends. Down low behind the goalpost. Not only do they have the game clock, but they have the play clock as well. Second down at 4. Temple at the Syracuse 24. Washington with time, going for 6. Got a man down there, and he badly overthrows Goodman. It was just as well. DeAndre Lakai was there. Decent coverage. Temple not messing around. They are going for it. This is, Paul Pasqualoni said, hey, this is a classic trap game.
And you can only say that to your team so many times because after a while you start to believe it. So you want to alert your team that we have to play at a high level, just like we did at home last week in that double overtime victory. But they have to not start believing that.
Temple on third down conversion, 6th in the conference, and defensively Syracuse is 6th in the conference on third down defense, and Temple has to call a timeout. So that's their first of the day. 12:21 to go here in the first quarter at Lincoln Financial Field. Actually, I read the time of day.
Reduce friction and deliver peak performance. Because too much friction, such a little gearhead, ain't he? Nice haircut. Quaker State Peak Performance.
Try Quaker State Winter Oil for easier startup and improved performance all winter long.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. No score on this windy, blustery day for college football. 7:36 to go on a fast-moving first quarter. And wind out of the north at 14 miles an hour, 43 degrees the temperature, and a wind chill of 35. 11th play on this drive. Here's Washington on the slant. Got a man there. Nice catch by Goodman at the 5. And Goodman's in for a touchdown. He beat DeAndre Lakai, and Temple leads at 6-0. Will Goodman, a big receiver. We talked about that size. 6'3", 220, a 24-yard scoring play. The 4th TD catch for Goodman. And for Walter Washington, that'll be his 8th TD pass of the season.
Great acceleration through the football. Phil Goodman attacks it. A 24-yard strike from Walter Washington, and the Owls strike first.
Boy, that timeout proved to be right on the button. Low snap, but it is booted through. And Temple takes a 7-0 lead. Nice job by Mike McLaughlin, the holder. Danny Murphy's able to bang it through. Phil Goodman comes through. Nice catch there. And look at the strength in the big hands to take it across as Temple leads 7-0. Welcome back, everybody. 7-0 Temple Owls on top of the Syracuse Orangemen. And coming into this game, Syracuse with a chance to win, still with a chance and some help to win that Big East title. And Temple, though, comes out and makes a statement. 24 yards on the hookup to Goodman.
Oh, 5:16, 8 on the clock on that drive, too. 11 plays, 71 yards. And Walter Washington, very impressive, 4 of 5 for 55 yards on the drive.
Temple did a good job converting on its third downs, too, during that drive as we look at Diamond Ferry, 11th in the nation in kick returns.
When we saw the wind, Dave, on that opening kickoff, Diamond Ferry had a little bit of a tough time catching the football. Let's see what happens on the second
There's
attempt.
another high, short one. Rhodes comes up to get it. Rhodes finds a hole and then taken down hard at about the 34-yard line. And he got taken down by Christian Dunbar.
Terrific throw and catch. Walter Washington versus press coverage just throws a dime to the inside, just a quick slant. Look at the extension of the football, just trying to get it across the goal line is Phil Goodman. You'd like to see him tuck it away, but he was very sure of himself on that play, and so were the coaches. I thought it was an excellent call on third down versus press coverage, attack the defense, and that's what the Owls did.
That was very impressive. Well, here's Syracuse starting at its own 34. Ooh, good play in the backfield as Sellers did not have a chance. He got taken. That's the second good play we've seen by Anton Jr. Lindsay. A.J. Lindsay.
Terrific job off the line of scrimmage. He just beats the block of the offensive lineman. It looked like Matt Cirillo, the center, was trying to down block him, and that was just sure speed and strength by A.J. Lindsay to get inside of the block and get into the orange backfield.
Loss of 1 on that play. Second down and 11 at the 33 for the Orange. The bubble screen. They get it out to Steve Gregory. Gregory tripped up. Gain of 3 on the play. Jermaine Hargraves, junior out of San Francisco, makes the play.
A good open field tackle that time by Jermaine Hargraves. Came in with 16 total tackles, but none better than that one. When you're at that corner position, you're out on that island. That's a tough play, and he made it look easy. Just a quick screen, as you said, to the outside, and nice tackle on one of the fastest players in the Orange has on offense.
Kind of play you better make the play.
Yes.
Batted Patterson back to throw. Flushed, hangs in, fires, nice hook up there. That's good for first down, far side to Steve Gregory. First down, Orange. The thing that's so impressive when you talk about Patterson, that's a gain of 16. Paul Pasqualoni and the staff says, you know what? He's so coachable. He wants to be coached, and he just soaks up everything you throw at him.
And Dave, watch his feet on this play. He resets himself perfectly within the pocket. He felt pressure to the right. He just slides, but those are the things they've been working on, making him play a little faster, and you could see the feet catching up with his eyes that time.
There's Gregory in motion. They fake the end around and run straight up the gut. And they go with Rhodes, and he got taken down by the backer, Troy Bennett. Number 2 tackler on the club. Senior out of Paulsboro, New Jersey. He and Ryan Wallace with a combination. They are best friends. They both are dads. Their families hang out together. 4 yards on that game.
And both have to make a lot of plays for this Temple defense to be successful today against the Orange.
Second down at 6 at the 42. 7-0 Temple on a Goodman TD pass, a 24-yarder from Washington. They run up the middle. Rhodes looking to break it to the outside. Nothing doing. Temple would have nothing of that. Mike Mendenhall, the junior out of Gibbstown, New Jersey, number 45, makes the stop. Mendenhall played a terrific game when we were here a few weeks ago against Pittsburgh. He had a sack for safety, as a matter of fact.
Mike Mendenhall's a good player. He's a solid player. And right now, this Temple Owl defense is playing pretty tough. They're always going to give you their best punch in this first quarter. And whether they can withstand it for 3 more quarters and play up to that level is yet to be seen. But they're doing a nice job against this offensive line for Syracuse.
2-yard loss sets up a 3rd and 8. Patterson hangs, and there's Gregory on a crossing pattern. That's good for first down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Gain of 10, first down Orange. Steve Gregory was hurt for most of the early part of the season. He's come back the last 3 games and led the ball club in receiving. Glad you could join us for Big East football. We're in Philadelphia today at Lincoln Financial Field. Dave Sims, John Kinjemi. Syracuse at 3-1. Temple 0-4. Last time Syracuse was in Philadelphia. The Owls came away with a 17-16 victory. Toss to Rhodes. Student body left. And they do get there. You did hear somebody in the Temple sideline exhorting get there, and they did. Sadiq Kante and Darrell Davis, number 23, make the play.
Well, we know Damian Rhodes has terrific speed to the outside, and so does Conti, 35 defensively for Temple. Just keeps pursuing to the sideline and does an excellent job. Gets a lot of help. You can see a lot of bodies around Damian Rhodes, and that's what has to happen. You have to gang tackle this guy, and you have to hit him hard to start this game. Remember, Damian Rhodes taking the brunt of the work from Walter Reyes, who's injured today.
Saw Adam Terry leading the way. Second down and 5. They run left side. Rhodes has got the ball. Let's see. Got brought down by Rodney Wormley. Number 89, the junior from Oxon Hill, Maryland. Other action in college football. Top 25, number 9, Michigan. Trailing at the Big House to Northwestern. Boston College on top of West Virginia. West Virginia unbeaten 4-0 in the Big East.
Dave, this would be a great time. Joe Kowalski didn't catch a pass last week against Pittsburgh, but Evans and Kowalski to the, that combination, you might want to watch for a pass here, the fullback as well.
Out of the eye, 1st and 10 from the Temple 22. And they fake the throw, and they run Rhodes straight up the gut again. Good blocking on the right side, running behind Steve Franklin, the right guard, and Quinn Onjanaka, the right tackle. Good-looking unit. Terry, Green, Tarullo, Franklin, and Onjanaka. Boise State, San Jose State, the 9 a.m. start in California. Boise State making some noise. Iowa and Minnesota tied at 3. 1st and 10. Make that 2nd and 5, beg your pardon. Rhodes, 8 carries, 41 yards. They run Rhodes again, and he got slowed up. He got slowed up in the backfield by Adam Fichter out of Mars, Pennsylvania, 6'3" junior. Pretty good penetration by the D-line.
Boy, it was terrific. they've been doing an excellent job in winning on first and second down. And right now, Temple, third and around 5 yards to go. So the biggest play their defense is going to face now is to try to keep this lead. They've only had a lead a couple times in the season, once against Pittsburgh, and they couldn't hold it. Let's see what happens here against Syracuse.
The Orange 2 of 3 on third down, going against the Temple defense. That is fourth in pass defense, last in run defense. Deep drop, Patterson hangs in, throws, and it is broken up. Tried to feed it into Jared Jones, and the coverage not bad by Andrew Turner, number 14, the junior from Compton, California.
Well, Perry Patterson was scanning the field. You'll watch him look to his left first. He comes back to the right and then finally tries to drill the football down the middle. But a good play by Andrew Turner gets that right arm on the football. Let's see if he had his back as well. He might have had that left arm turning Jared Jones. It wasn't called, but a good strip of the football by Turner.
35-yard field goal attempt, pretty much straight on by Callan Barber, who went 1 for 2 last week. Made just 2 of his last 10. High snap, low kick, through the air, and he missed it. So Callan Barber, 2 of his last 11 now, missing from 35 yards out. It's been that kind of year for Paul Pasqualoni and the Syracuse Orange. A 35-yard field goal by Callan Barber. Bad memories of 2 years ago. Right here at Philly at the late lamented, well, maybe not lamented.
No. Just late.
2:11 to go here in the first. Tim Brown looking for room on the outside, finds a crease. Nice gain across the 25 to the 28.
Late flag.
Sure was, very late flag. A couple of years ago, here's R.J. Anderson, and he feeds it in. Jared Jones makes the catch. Point after was not a gimme. Joinked it, boinked it, missed it. And Temple comes away with a 1-point win. And Barber missed that one.
Holding number 21 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
So Brian Allbrooks, a junior wide receiver from San Diego, called for that foul.
Boy, Dave, that hurts too. First down, if you're Temple and you win on first down, you get a big run by Tim Brown to start the momentum again, and you get a holding penalty to start you back deep in your own end behind the 15-yard line at the 14.
Temple with a 7-0 lead. First possession, they went right down the field. 11 plays, 71 yards at 5:16. Walter Washington went 4 for 5 passing for 55 yards and hooked up with Phil Goodman on a 24-yard TD pass. It's amazing Brown could find this spot. Boy, there's a great close coming in to make that tackle. Somebody came flying there. It was Smitty. That's right, Anthony Smith. Yeah, he is so comfortable coming at it free safety spot. Watch number 20 coming in your picture from your left.
Well, first of all, I don't know how Tim Brown got out of that mess, but Anthony Smith is coming with a lot of speed. Also, Tenard Jackson.
Tenard Jackson was
in on the play, yeah.
So Smith was in there, but Tenard Jackson was the guy that missed one. Really polished him off. Second down and 13 at the 17-yard line. Washington. Now it opens up straight up the gut. Oh, he made a man miss. Made another miss at the 40. What a play by Walter Washington. First down, Temple to the 43-yard line. No flags. Boy, that's a big-time run of 26 yards. He was dead to rights back there.
Walter Washington, 240 pounds. He's 6'2", but watch the elusiveness. When he decides to tuck it and put it under his arm, he can make you miss. Whoop, there's one to the outside, another move to the inside, and then he just pounds Anthony Smith, and it's a terrific job of having great vision and being that elusive to not take the pounding that he normally has to take when he runs the football.
Kellen Pruitt had the whiff. Smith, I think that's Tim Brown. And then he gave him a big dose to the 5'8 junior from Stockton, California. JC All-American, City College of San Francisco. Gets it across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Brown, 8 carries, 25 yards to this point. Came in averaging 4.2 yards a carry with a couple of touchdowns to his credit. Kinesiology major.
Well, it's exactly the way Temple wanted to open up this football game with the lead, going into the second quarter.
Absolutely. Kill some clock, get the lead, and You already know that this is going to be a heck of a contest. Cold, blustery day here in Philadelphia. Temple feeling pretty warm about itself right now with a 7-0 lead. So far today, Phil Goodman and the Owls have played pretty well. It's 7-0 Temple as we begin the second quarter in a must game for Paul Pasqualoni and the Orange, who still harbor hopes of winning the Big East Conference Championship this year if they can get a whole bunch of help. Second down at 7. Temple at its 46. And they go at the end around. It's going to be wide open. Oh my goodness, he's got it at the 10, at the 5, down to the 2-yard line. He got it to Bucci Ibe. First and goal, Temple. Ikichuku was a quarterback in high school. He's a 6th-year senior. He's had a couple of medical hardships. And what a play call there.
Boy, terrific job coming out and really making a surprise call. First play of the second quarter, he said a wide open receiver down the field is Bucci Ibe, and he takes it inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line.
David Brock, the offensive coordinator, taking the shackles off. 51 yards on the play. Washington will take it himself. Washington down to the 1. He got taken out by Kadir Dramé. Number 70 at Syracuse on its heels right now with Temple knocking on the door. Second down and goal.
Well, I think you just have to run Walter Washington again in this situation, but watch the play call. Just an excellent job of setting it up and a great job by Chuku to get the football out. This is a stiff wind that he just threw that ball into, and you have to be a former quarterback to throw a ball like that, and he got it done.
Tim Brown's the deep back. They'll empty the backfield. Washington folds in. He has got...
Well, he was in. I don't know if
I thought he was in.
He was clearly in.
How did they not see that from our angle? It looked like he was in. Boy, both linesmen say no. That's remarkable.
I don't know about that. It looked like Walter Washington clearly had the football across the goal line.
Brings up a third down and goal. Temple leading 7-0.
Take another look, Dave. He gets a little crease off the right guard, and right there, his shoulder, half of his body looks like it's in the end zone.
Jerry Mackey pulled him back.
What a bad call.
Third and goal, inches away for Temple. Washington jumps in. Does he get it? He's got it. Touchdown, Temple. 13-0 Owls. So the Temple Owls, winless to this point in the Big East season, winless last year. We have to go back to 2 years ago when they beat Rutgers in Syracuse. And here they are with a 13-0 lead.
Well, let's give a little credit to David Brock for that call to open up the second quarter. Really ate up a huge chunk of yardage and put Walter Washington in a position to go over on third down.
Ryan Luck's point after is good. 14-0 Temple. Yes, that is a surprise as the Owls, a little bit more than a touchdown underdog, lead by 2 here in Philly.
The best reason to drink better.
To eBay with the halfback option. 51 yards, part of an 8-play, 80-yard drive in 4 minutes. And the Owls have a 14-0 lead against the Syracuse Orange. Here's the Lux kick. Line drive goes to Rhodes, left side. Rhodes at the 30. And he got taken down by one of the backup DBs, Christian Dunbar, backup tight end, number 46. Got him up high, 24 yards in return. BC by a touchdown at West Virginia right now.
Well, that would be a difficult place to pull out a victory in Morgantown, but Boston College off to a 7-point lead early in the game.
So Perry Patterson, young man, the game's on you.
Absolutely, and this is a situation really that he has not been in on the road. You know, Syracuse on the road in the last 25 games, 7 of 18. They're 7 and 18 in the last 25 games.
Patterson hangs tough. Oh, he had another drop. Boy, that's a shame on a short post there. He hit Jared Jones right in the chest. And Jones limping off right now. Was it last week that we saw that Patterson had 3-4 drops?
Yeah,
We had
big
seen him
plays.
up at Syracuse against Rutgers. He had 4 overthrows. And then last week about 3 or 4 big drops just like that. Patterson 4 of 8, 39 yards.
And so far, he's been on the money. He's thrown the football into the wind very accurately. I think this is the tougher way to throw it when you have a big wind at your back.
Second down from the 35. Give it to Rhodes. Well blocked, but Rhodes got taken down from behind. Boy, I was looking downfield, and I thought he had some big running room to do some damage there. And he got taken down by Bobby Fulmore.
Well, that was an excellent tackle because it looked like, Dave, I agree with you. You make one person miss, and you're on the edge to the house, and Bobby Fulmore did an excellent job of coming from the inside out. I don't believe Damian Rhodes ever saw Bobby Fulmore.
Rhodes, 10 carries, 45 yards. Third down and 5. Orange at their 40. Patterson in trouble. It opens up. Got the first down. Dropped the ball! He's able to recover it at the 49-yard line, but a first down nonetheless for the Orange, a gain of 9.
I think that Orange sideline just a sigh of relief because you make a big play. Perry Patterson breaks contain. It's a big body on the other side for quarterback, but then he just loses the football, and luckily for Syracuse, it rolls right back to Perry Patterson, but a good strip by Rodney Wormley coming from that defensive end position. Patterson was lucky to get back on that football.
Sure was. Jared Jones back in the game. 2 fumbles, 2 recovered by Syracuse thus far. Orange from its 49. A lot of faking. Patterson all day to throw. Got a man running free. Overthrows Jones, who was clearly there. He beat the corner, Andrew Turner.
Well, Dave, you made the point earlier. Perry Patterson was very accurate last week, had a lot of drops. But there's been games where he's had guys open down the field, and he hasn't connected probably 6-7 times throughout the year. Here, with the wind behind you, it's a very tough throw to be accurate down the field. You have to take a little bit more off of it, put more air under the football.
Second down and 10 at the 49. Gregory in motion. 2-step drop, slant thrown behind the intended receiver, Rice Moss. Paul Pasqualoni couldn't say enough about that young man, Rice Moss. He said he's a beautiful strider like Rob Moore, but a good runner, but the stride maybe even reminds you more of Quadre Ismail.
That's a dangerous combination.
Yeah. That is something pretty to watch. At times poorly thrown. Syracuse 3 of 5 on third down this afternoon. Third down and 10 here from the 49. Rice Moss. They want his development for the future to start right now. Here's Patterson hanging, firing. Got a man there. Good for the first down. Jones make that Gregory with the big catch to the 25-yard line for the Orange. First down, a gain of 26.
Dave, it all starts with protection, and Perry Patterson had plenty of time to look over the secondary and find Steve Gregory wide open. Watch Patterson get back and feel confident in the pocket, step up past A.J. Lindsey, and then just throw a strike down the Syracuse sideline to Steve Gregory.
Nice job by Gregory to keep it alive. Gregory at the bottom of your screen. Jones at the top on this 1st and 10 at the 25. Rhodes gets the carry. And Rhodes got into that second level in a heartbeat. Got into the 19-yard line, gain of 7.
Well, we talked about Temple in their first series, getting in scoring position and needing to get 7. Well, Syracuse does not want to get into a situation where they have to send Colin Barber out to kick a field goal here. They need 7 points to answer Temple.
Sure do. Jones left. Gregory make that Lendell Bembo. Number 7 is at the bottom of your screen. Reset Kovaleski, the tight end, to the near side. Fake the bubble screen, run the draw straight up the middle. And Fulmore makes the tackle on Rhodes. Well, he was grabbing at that ball, and Rhodes got to the 15-yard line, and Rhodes was fortunate to hold on.
It looked like that ball was going to get out of the grasp of Damian Rhodes, who's been pretty productive this afternoon. He has 12 rushes for 56 yards, close to his season average of 5.1 yards. It's 4.7 on the day, but he's 12 rushes already in this football game.
Good drive here by the Orange of Syracuse. First and 10 at the 14. Slow developing play. They give a taste to the fullback, who does well to keep it alive as long as he has. They can't bring him down. It's Breon Evans, the redshirt freshman out of Bristol, Connecticut. Favorite athlete, Jerome Bennison. He played like the bust on that one.
He sure did.
A.J. Lindsey coming back on the field. Evans, 5'11", 236. He refused to go down.
Well, just a bad quarterback-center exchange added to the timing in the backfield being thrown off.
Lindsey had him, and
yeah, it was tough to bring down. Was Evans, 38, the fullback. And half the Syracuse coaching staff out on the field trying to figure out what went wrong. But they'll try to figure it out on second down.
They got Rhodes now as the up back, and the deep back is Jeremy Sellers. Second and 14 at the 18. Got a man down there, knocked away at the last second. Oh, man, did he prevent 6? That was Ray Lamb, the junior from Fort Worth, Texas. The tight end, Joe Kovaleski. Had some space there, and that was a pretty good throw there by Patterson.
That was a great throw, and an even better defensive play. It looked like that ball was just going to get over the outstretched left arm of Ray Lamb at the last minute. He gets a hand on it. You bet Kovaleski was saying, just get over it. It's an easy 6 points. Great extension by the cornerback.
Rhodes, they'll flank him to the bottom of the screen here. Sellers is the deep back. Patterson, 5 of 12, 65 yards. Looking underneath. Ooh, there's a lick there. Gregory, he took a pop from Ryan Wallace. Big time hit there by the preseason All-American, second team All-Big East a year ago. Gain of 5. Right now let's check in on the Volvo Big East leaders and Ryan Wallace, number 1 in tackles in the conference. And his teammate Troy Bennett right there, Diamond Ferry. Look at all these guys that are performing today. This will be an attempt from 30 yards out by Colin Barber. Missed from 35, his first attempt today. 2 of his last 11. Snap placement kick. And he nails this one. So 30 yards out. The Orange on the board with 8:47 to go here in the second quarter. It's 14-3 Temple. The underdog against Ray Lamb made a terrific play, and it kept Syracuse from getting a touchdown, made them settle for the field goal, and they're pretty happy on that Temple sideline. 14-3. Owls over the Orange here at Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia. Brandon Kearney's going to get us going here. Here by Malvern Prep in the Inter-Academic League. Go. That's going deep into the end zone, and Jamil Porter will keep it right there. Good decision. As with the wind, it was Kearney getting now. No miss Big East football from ESPN Plus next Saturday, beginning at noon Eastern. Walter Washington and the Temple Owls host Matthias Iwanuka and the Boston College Eagles. That's BC versus Temple next Saturday at noon Eastern from ESPN Plus. Beautiful day here, 43 degrees, wind chill at 35 degrees with a wind out of the north at about 14 miles per hour.
And Walter Washington going right into that wind with 80 yards to go to move his team to a bigger lead. And let's see what Syracuse comes out with this defensive series.
Keep it on the ground. And the first carry this afternoon by Umar Ferguson, the junior from Silver Spring, Maryland. Averaging 5.2 yards per carry.
And Dave, I think for Syracuse to turn this momentum around, it has to start on defense. They're without Walter Reyes, their top, running back, and they've had a lot of pressure put on that offense now without him. The defense has to answer, just like they did last week in certain parts of those games. They have to come back and make a stand and maybe make a turnover here defensively.
Second down and 9 at the 21. Washington. Little flanker screen, gets it outside, picks up about 4. Chuku with the big pass. Halfback option, end-around option. Throws it to Buchi Ibe, 51 yards. Got Temple inside the 5, and Walter Washington was able to get it in. There's Phil Goodman. He caught the first touchdown pass. 24 yards from Washington, that at the 7:30 mark in the first quarter.
Seems to me Walter's building on his afternoon from last week against West Virginia, really throwing the football on target. He's been very accurate this afternoon.
Third down and 5 at the 25. Temple 4 for 4 converting so far. Here's Washington. No, not going to get it done. Maybe a gain of 2. The bobble really messed up the timing there. He did well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
It looked like a low snap really hurt the timing of this play. Down around his ankles. Walter did an excellent job, as you said, just to catch the football and make a positive play. It could have been a fumble or a bobble off the snap. Good hands by Walter Washington.
Tony Jenkins made that play. As we look at Jake Hendy, junior out of Sandy, Utah. First punt today. And he had to kick it into the wind. Look what the wind did to him. And a hang time of only 2.9. Punt that carried barely 30 yards.
Ball start. Number 34 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Well, Syracuse is going to get excellent field position. You see, as you pointed out, Dave, that wind, what it did to the football. They backed the Owls special team up another 5 yards. So Syracuse should get this football on the Owl side of the 50.
That's what Hendy has done to this point. Clayton is back to receive. Sophomore from Tallahassee, Florida. This one about the same deal. Hey, bobbled it. Temple's got a chance. Temple has recovered. So the fact that it was a long line drive, dying quickly, works to Temple's advantage. What a break.
Marcus Clayton can't believe it.
Usually, if a ball's dying like that and it's coming down, you
just get away.
Either get away or
just fair catch it.
Yeah, fair catch it. He thought maybe he could have a running start and do something with it. You should have just let it go.
Yeah, it looked like the air was let out of the football, the wind knocking it down, and really never got underneath the football. Right. It never really got in good position to field the punt.
Temple from its own 48. Going right after Syracuse. They get it out to Ferguson on a quick square out. Picks up about 7. Run out of bounds by Kellen Pruitt. There's Julian Pollard trying to shake off. Oh, maybe a bump.
He had an excellent game against Pittsburgh last week, pursuing Tyler Palco as well as Ryan LaCase, the other defensive end, with James Weiss. A lot of pressure from the Syracuse front 4.
Steve Dunlop, the D coordinator for Syracuse, says that Pollard's the hardest working kid on the team. There's Ryan LaCase. He's in there. He'll be at the other side opposite James Weiss. Ferguson took a ball and kept going and picked up first down for Temple to the 40-yard line. Quick pop over the right guard. Stephen Bell over there. Owls lead it 14-3. Orange getting on the board with a 30-yard field goal by Barber. 8:47 to go in the second. Right now with 6:40 and counting here in the second. So I look at Clayton with the big fumble. And that's keeping Syracuse defense on the field. Here's Washington. Boy, just rampaging. He's got a first down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Boy, that fake holds just enough. He picks up 12, and next thing you know, he's around the edge and gone.
And he's gone, and a great job by Christian Dunbar, 46, the tight end, who gets the block on the linebacker, who has to just have one arm. Calvin Smith cannot bring down Walter Washington with one arm. Top of your screen, just a good job of creating a stalemate so Walter Washington could cut off the block, and no hesitation when he's going north and south, Dave.
Absolutely not. Ferguson going right side. Picks up positive yardage. Got bear hug. He got to the other side. Weiss was there with Smith. Anthony Smith Smith coming up to make the play. Here's what Washington's done to this point. 109 yards in total offense. He's fourth in the conference in total offense with 269.4 per game.
Yeah, he's a very solid quarterback and can take that amount of hits in a game and keep going. He doesn't really lose his level of explosiveness as the game goes on.
One magazine and in preseason best athlete in the Big East Conference. He's rushed 7 for 42 and a touchdown already. Looking to throw here. Boy, he ran into traffic. He bounces out. How'd he do that? Kellen Pruitt takes a ride, and Washington's close to first down yardage. Should be about a half yard short.
I'll tell you how he did it. He looks like one of the linemen. You can't tell he's the quarterback. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. He gets blended in with that offensive line. You figure, well, he can't possibly have the football. And he breaks it out to the outside and makes a nice run.
Like he ran right into traffic. Next thing you know, he breaks out.
He was off to the races. And this is his territory, 3rd and short. You know, you want to give it to him and just get a little push from that offensive line, and it should be enough.
Fast-moving first half. Bobbled that one. Look at that. He's got the first down and more. He's going to score. Touchdown off the bobble. And Temple leads it 20-3.
What an athletic play.
18-yard run by Walter Washington.
Tremendous concentration by Walter Washington just to catch the football. He was just trying to get the first down. All he did was lower the shoulder, and all of a sudden he was through the line of scrimmage into the secondary. No one there to tackle him, and Bobby Wallace's team is looking to go up 21-3.
And they do with the point after. Great block by John Gross. Gross won his battle. That was the last block that Washington needed. His 14th rushing touchdown today. And there's some serious concern in central New York right now. Those who are watching in Philadelphia, they can't believe.
Let's go.
Oh, the joy of a big-time quarterback having an outstanding day. 21-3, Temple leading at home against Syracuse. Walter Washington has thrown for 1 and run for 2, and Bobby Wallace's club trying to knock off Syracuse for the 2nd time in a row here in Philly. They did it back in 02, and right now with a big lead at 21-3. Here's Lux with the kick. Knuckleball going far side. It goes out of bounds. Boston College handling West Virginia at Mountaineer Field. Boston College at 2-1 in Big East play. West Virginia 4-0.
Kickoff out of bounds, untouched by the kicking team. Ball placed at the 35-yard line.
Here's why today's game's so important. As we talked about at the beginning of the game, Syracuse had a wide open, not wide open, but it's still a chance to win the Big East Conference. And with West Virginia losing, that was part of the equation that helps them.
That's right.
Because Syracuse will have a week off and then play at Boston College. But Syracuse not holding up its end of the bargain to this point. Pump fake Patterson. They flush him. He's in trouble. Down he goes at the 28-yard line. That's a loss of 7.
Dave, this is the worst-case scenario for the Syracuse Orange because they cannot rely on their passing game to get them back in the game. They have to use the 3 quarters, what's remaining of the 2.5 quarters that are left, to run the football and just run their offense. But if they get into this, throw on first down style of offense, they will not win this football game.
Syracuse 5th in passing in the Big East, 3rd in rushing behind West Virginia and Syracuse. They're asking a lot of Mr. Patterson to try to win it. This is what they're familiar with and what they've been successful with. Rhodes almost gets the first down. It was 2nd and 17. He picked up 16.
Well, that's the home run threat right there. And he wears number 1, Damian Rhodes. He can make a difference, and he can make you pay, especially in the running game. Look at that huge hole. Terrific block on the right side. It looked like Ojanaka and Steve Franklin to that side. Humongous hole off the right side. All Ryan Wallace can do is chase down Damian Rhodes.
3rd down, a very short one. Diamond Ferry in there at Wishbone. And Ferry gets the call and bounces it out. Let's see. Turns the corner. He's a football player indeed. Diamond Ferry First down, Orange. They get it all the way down to the 24-yard line. Paul Pasqualoni said we'd see a lot of Diamond Ferry in short yardage situation. A 30-yard gain by Diamond Ferry, who came to Syracuse as a running back and then moved over to DB a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the former running back turned free safety, now turned running back in short yardage, bounces it outside. Just terrific vision. He kept his legs going. And we talked to Paul Pasqualoni. He said he's just a football player. He does everything we ask of him on defense. Now he does it in a special short yardage situation.
Scouts have noticed too. They said, what is going on here? This kid does a lot. Here's Rhodes, taken out from behind by Mendenhall. And Rhodes picks up about 3. Ran a long way to pick up 3. Didn't have a lot of operating room. And Diamond Ferry makes all kinds of plays. You name it, he does it.
Well, Dave, this is what I meant a couple minutes ago about the Orange offensively. They cannot lose their identity of who they are. Even though they're down by a significant score in 21-3, they have to continue to run the football because that's who they are.
Patterson gets it back to Rhodes. Decent block from the fullback, but a better defensive play by the Owl safety, Sadiq Kante. 4th leading tackler on the ball club. 6'1", 215 out of New Mexico Military Institute. Went to El Dorado High School in Albuquerque.
How about that show of speed and strength on the outside?
That was very impressive. Got off that block by Evans.
Good job of shedding the block by Conti and just using the right arm to pull Damian Rhodes down from behind.
They're going to go empty backfield, trips top of your screen. Inside 2 minutes to go here in the second. 5 of 8 on 3rd down conversions for the Orange. 4-man rush. Knocked down Mendenhall, almost had the pick. He took a step in and then stood straight up and knocked it down. Mike Mendenhall having an outstanding game.
And they may have to go for this, Dave, on 4th down.
Yeah, the kicking game has been woeful for Syracuse.
Well, you called it. What an absolute spectacular defensive play and almost interception by Mike Mendenhall. And Syracuse had numbers on the outside. Temple had too many guys committed to the box, that front 7 box, and they didn't have enough to defend the trips to the wide side of the field. And if Mendenhall doesn't get a hand on it, could have been a big play for the Orange.
Mendenhall could not get any run as a tight end. Played tight end a couple of years ago, so they asked him, he said, hey, can you put on a little bit of weight, play a little D-line? He's 235, got himself up to 250, and he's had an outstanding year. Coming up at halftime, Biggie's Halftime Report with Mike Gleason. Take a look at the postseason preview. Look at top 25 and Biggie's scores and first half highlights and stats. And right now, weighted heavily on the Temple side of things.
Well, you mentioned Mike Mendenhall. About a month ago, we were here for the Pittsburgh game. He had 4, 5, 6 humongous plays in that game to put Temple in position to win that game. Unfortunately for them, they didn't come up with it, but Mike Mendenhall gave a terrific effort to Bobby Wallace and his teammates on that afternoon.
Mendenhall's a junior, nearby Paulsboro High School, Gibbstown, New Jersey. So the Orange kicking game, not what it used to be. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. The Orange on the season, 3 of 8. However, Temple, how about Temple? They've allowed 8 of 11 4th down conversions on the season. 4th and 4 at the 18. Patterson going to roll. Looking for the throwback. Is he going to run? He does. He's close. He didn't make it.
I don't think so.
He didn't make it. He's going to be about half a ball short. He had to get across the 15. He didn't do it. Based on the spot that I saw the linesman put his foot down, I don't think he made it.
David, looked like his body went, east and west instead of north and south. He got turned going sideways, and if his body lands going towards the goal line, he would have had the first down.
Look at the Orange. They're walking up the field.
They know
he didn't make it. They pull a chain. Oh, he's well short. First down, Temple. The Owls have held. The O-line, you could see him. They started heading for the sidelines. They knew he did not make it. So you got $1:40 to go, and you're going into the wind. So right now, if you're Bobby Wallace, you just want to get
Walter Washington.
Just tell him to hold on to the football.
I think Perry Patterson did an excellent job. Great effort of trying to get the first down. But watch when you see his body get turned sideways. He never really got going towards the goal line when he got close to the 15.
He did something we see so many backs. If he goes straight line, as he made that last decision, he makes it easily and tried to make it into a bigger play than what was there. You see it all the time, every week. Uh-oh, this breaks. to the outside. And who makes the play?
Oh, Mr. Ferry.
Diamond Ferry. He's outstanding. If he's not one of your favorite players, he's the co-defensive player of the week this week in the Big East with Brian Toll of Boston College. 12 tackles a week ago, 10 solos, forced a fumble. He's just unbelievable.
Well, last week against Pittsburgh, 12 tackles, 10 of those solo, forced a fumble. He's the co-leader with 75 total tackles. You could almost close your eyes and just listen to the sound.
And he made the big play that stopped Pitt on 4th and inches. They try to run wide again to the other side with Brown. Inside a minute to go. 3rd down and short.
Kind of surprised maybe Syracuse not calling a timeout here.
Yeah, no question.
Going against the wind, you know, you have a stop on 3rd down here. You might get the ball back with decent field position and at least maybe get an opportunity to score before halftime.
Temple's up 21-3, and everyone more than happy to see the clock wind down. 3rd and 1. Got to believe Mr. Washington's going to have carry the ball here, but they've already burned 20-some seconds off the clock. Didn't make it. Boy, they went to the back 7 yards deep.
Yeah,
They didn't get it. I thought Washington
absolutely.
And now they called timeout with 21 left.
Yeah, but they could have had about 30 or 40 seconds left on the clock.
Easily.
You know, in college football, you get the possession when you make a first down, the clock stops. So if you get this ball back with 40, 45 seconds left, it's like having an extra timeout already. So you could afford to burn another one defensively.
Take a quick timeout, get back and see what happens in the final 21 seconds on the clock here in Philadelphia. Questions we have, Paul Pasqualoni did not call a timeout with about 50 seconds to go, but probably more over. Temple with a 3rd and short. They go with a little guy to run the 6', 215 Umar Ferguson to run the ball and don't run it with Walter Washington.
Yeah, that was a big question for me. Now they have a chance of a block kick or a return.
Low line drive. And that's going to burn some clock time right there. Don't touch it. 10 seconds. Good job as they burned another 3-4 seconds off before they touch it. The hang time was only 2.4 seconds on a punt that went 34 yards. So now just 9 seconds on the clock for the Orange.
Instead of about 29, probably, I would think.
In that neighborhood, there was about 50. I thought they were going to call a timeout with about 52, 53 seconds to go. They've had, close to 30-some seconds. The Temple just needs to make a play here, and they go to halftime up 21-3. Patterson. Deep ball, and it's caught far side. And he got it into Jones with 3 seconds left, 18 yards on the pickup. It was a good throw.
Yeah, it was a good throw. And it looked like to me today, Perry Patterson is having more difficulty throwing with the wind than he is against the wind. And this is the tougher side to make completions because the ball will sail on you a little bit.
Probably the last play. See if they can get a Big Ben effort out of it. Patterson keeps it alive. Throws. Got people down there. Got a chance. So good. He got it out of bounds. Gregory had it. Boy, what an effort by Patterson and by Gregory. Temple dodges one there.
Is anything easy for this Temple squad?
Unbelievable. So that's the end of the first half here at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Syracuse leaves at halftime with a timeout left on the board. So questions about clock management and play calling. They almost get a break here. Patterson, valiant effort, but Temple has a 21-3 lead at halftime. Mike Gleason's coming up next.
It's halftime at Lincoln Financial Field. The Orange and Owls halfway through the weekend battle with a victory today. Temple cracks the win column in league play. Victory for Syracuse, and they become bowl eligible. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this weekend's Big East Halftime Report. Mike Gleason here, and thanks for spending part of your Saturday with us. Syracuse isn't the only school from the Big East on the brink of going bowling. Right now, West Virginia and BC are the only 2 schools that are bowl eligible, but keep in mind, 3 more schools can pick up their 6th victory today. The University of Pittsburgh is 4th in the Big East standings with a 3-2 conference record and 5-3 overall. The Panthers are coming off a heartbreaking double overtime loss to Syracuse last weekend. That game was important because it would have made Pitt bowl eligible if they could have pulled it off. Instead, the Panthers have 2 tough games to try to get there, facing Notre Dame this afternoon and then number 10, West Virginia on Thanksgiving night. With a win today and a win over the Mountaineers, the Panthers have a legitimate shot at gathering the BCS Bowl bid, or could find themselves playing on New Year's Day in the Gator Bowl against the ACC's second-ranked team. Number 21, Boston College checks in at number 3 in the Big East race with a 2-1 conference record and 6-2 record overall. The Eagles' 21-10 victory over Rutgers last weekend made it an impressive 6th straight season that they've been bowl eligible. Senior quarterback Paul Peterson ran his record as a starter to 9-2 with the victory, throwing for 296 yards on the day. Boston College faces West Virginia this afternoon in a huge game for both programs. With a victory over the Mountaineers, the Eagles will tie for the conference lead and be in prime position to grab the BCS bid if they can finish out the season with wins over Temple and Syracuse. Syracuse pulled out a big win last Saturday in that double overtime victory over Pittsburgh. The win raised their conference record to 3-1 and put them a game over 500 overall at 5-4. The Orange will look to Damian Rhodes to carry the load today after star running back Walter Reyes went down with a shoulder injury last week. Syracuse needs a win today to become bowl eligible. If they can run the table to end the season against Temple and Boston College, they'll have an outside chance at winning the conference. If not, they'll still have a good shot at getting a bid for the Gator, Insight, or Continental Tire Bowl. West Virginia is in the driver's seat to win the Big East and take the BCS Bowl bid as conference champs. But the Mountaineers still have some work to get there. WVU is battling a tough Boston College team this afternoon, looking to run the record to 5-0 in the conference and 9-1 overall. The Mountaineers have been doing it on the ground all year, leading the Big East in rushing offense by a whopping 88.4 yards a game. With a victory today, West Virginia will head north with a perfect conference record to take on Pittsburgh in the backyard brawl on Thanksgiving night in a tremendously important game to end the season. By winning out in their last 2 games, the Mountaineers will wrap up the Big East title and a BCS bid. If they win one of 2, they could possibly garner a Gator Bowl berth, depending on the fate of the rest of the contenders. And keep in mind, with 28 bowls to fill, actually 6 of the 7 teams from the Big East have a shot at tasting the postseason this year. One school we haven't mentioned, Rutgers. If the Scarlet Knights win out, they would join the postseason pack as far as schools earning bowl eligibility. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we move back to the present, and that means you're heading back to Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia for the second half of Syracuse.
Here come the Orange, and they trail 21-3 here at Temple here at halftime at Big East action. John Congemi, Dave Sims here. I don't know about you. I'm surprised.
I'm a little surprised, and I'll be more surprised if Temple takes the opening kickoff of the second half and goes down and starts to control a little bit of the second half to start the game, start the second half.
Take a look at some of the first half highlights, and Walter Washington, what a day he's having. He hits Goodman right here to open the scoring from 24 yards out.
Yeah, great pass. He was 4 of 5 on that drive for 55 yards and did an excellent job. But then the 51-yarder, Chukwu to eBay down the field, first play of the second quarter, really opened things up for Temple, and that led to a 1-yard rushing touchdown by Walter Washington. He gets the ball over the goal line, and that made it 14-0 Temple. But Syracuse comes right back. A great, actually, they try to press it down the field, and Lamb makes an excellent play. He stretches out to knock the football away. It looked like a great pass by Perry Patterson, but Syracuse has to settle for a field goal, a 30-yarder by Colin Barber that squeaks in to the inside. They had the ball for 12 plays, but then the huge error on the punt return. Marcus Clayton bobbles the football. Temple picks it up, and then your guy that's going to do it all on offense, Walter Washington, a 19-yard rushing touchdown, 6 plays, 52 yards. They ate up 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and that led the score to 21-3.
And on that play, you saw Washington bobble the snap. Syracuse has some work to do. They did have one of their favorite sons on hand to add to the picture here and try to get them fired up. Donovan McNabb, the Eagles quarterback and Syracuse alum. We hope to have him with us in a matter of minutes as we get ready for the second half. 35 degrees on this 43-degree temperature day. Brendan Carney, local youngster from Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, has it teed up. Jamil Porter out of Rochester, New York. And here we go, second half action. Temple leading 21-3, and they'll take it from about a yard deep. Finds an alley, got to the edge. He can do some damage here. And he's taken down at the 33-yard line. And it's a good thing Thomas Whitfield, beg your pardon, was there. Temple in a good starting position here at the 34-yard line to get it going here in the second half. He found that crease.
Yeah, he did. He found it to the left side. It looked like Porter was hesitant to come out of the end zone, but he made a wise decision. He found a crease and got it past the 30-yard line.
Temple scored on its first two possessions, punted, scored on the third possession, and punted on the fifth. Washington on the draw. Does a heck of a job to use that hand to keep him up. And a late penalty flag thrown. And looks like Goodman, he got tied up with Tenard Jackson. We saw Goodman get in one of those real knucklehead penalties right here.
I think he just got in another one, Dave. The play's over, and you go and cut somebody like that. That's a bad play.
Ridiculous.
And there's no place for that.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 1 on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It will be second down.
The play is 40 yards away. What is he thinking about?
Well, the worst part about it was you go and cut somebody like that. You know, that could end somebody's career that way. I mean, it's all well and good if it's in the field of play and it's pertinent to the play, but away from the play, I just think that's a horrible decision by Phil Goodman.
Boy, you got to get that macho, and this game's not macho enough.
Well, and this is a situation for Bobby Wallace, too. They're up 21-3. Their offense comes out. Walter Washington just makes an excellent effort to get a few yards, and then somebody breaks down mentally.
Man, amazing. Second down to 23. Washington, well, he can just run through some tackles. If you don't hit him, you pay a price.
And Walter Washington is very excited about that play.
James Weiss had him for tackle for a loss. He ran right through him. And James Weiss is an outstanding defender. Watch number 90 here, a little whiff-ola.
And watch the strength, and a good job on the outside by Christian Dunbar. That's the second time he's blocked really well.
He made Smith.
Walter Washington. Yeah, Anthony Smith loses his footing, and Walter Washington made a productive play out of not much.
Got it back to a productive 3rd and 9 at the 35. This is a killer if he gets a first down. And the tight end, Dunbar, can't make the play. Covered by the linebacker, Kellen Pruitt. That could have been a killer if they'd gotten that first down after getting backed up on the personal foul.
Well, that's what Walter Washington needed on that first series. Put a couple first downs together. They necessarily didn't have to score, but they wanted to get that field position because that wind is really picked up in this third quarter.
Jake Hendy punts it. Bembo signals for a fair catch. It drops short. A hang time of just over 5 seconds. That was pretty good. Punt covered 40 yards. And that was into the wind, too.
Terrific punt. Now it's up to Perry Patterson in this third quarter to try to put something together. And it all starts with the running game for Syracuse and Damian Rhodes. We talked about the loss of Walter Reyes. It all starts with this running game and a lot of pressure on Rhodes right now.
Orange starting at its own 25.
Yeah, they're not going to win doing that. They have to get back. They have 2 quarters of football left, 13:29 left to go. They have to get back to their own identity, try to use some formations, get mismatches in the running game, and that'll open up the passing game.
Syracuse in its first half, when their possessions went punt, field goal, and then turned it over on downs and then gave it up at the end of the half. Second down at 10 at the 25. Toss play going to Rhodes. He broke it open. There he goes. And taken down from behind. Bobby Fulmer prevented further damage. First down, Syracuse, gain of 17. And joining us right now, Syracuse alum and Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, Donovan McNabb. What's going on, Donovan?
Oh, nothing much. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, thank you. What did you tell the club at halftime?
Hey, just a little more motivation, support them a little bit, and try to rally them up a little bit. You know, here, like Lincoln Financial Credit, it's a tough Temple team, but there's still another half to play. So if they focus in that way, things will be fine.
Hang in there for we'll do this play here. 1st and 10 at the 42. And Rhodes up the middle. Nice game. Picks up about 8. What else did you notice? I was curious about your other observations about the Syracuse ball club.
Well, I mean, you know, we've had some ups and downs this year, and they played well versus, you know, some of the tough opponents, the opponents in which no one thought we can even contest with. And, you know, we've had some games, obviously, we won back, but the main thing is that they're a young team, and they're learning from this experience, and hopefully they help them out for the future.
Tell us about your McNabb's pals here. So you got a lot of youngsters here.
We do, and, you know, we try to give kids an opportunity to come out and enjoy some good football, come here to Lincoln Financial, a place where obviously they visualize being here and just have a good time.
Donovan, this is John Kajemi. Just wanted to talk a little bit about a position you know well in quarterback, and Perry Patterson and his progression. It looks like he's really gaining some confidence week in and week out, especially last week. He really took the Orange on to victory.
Well, you know, in this game in which we play, obviously, you know, it takes some time. You know, it can't be perfect just with one particular game, and I think he's continued to grow in this offense and have the comfort level around his guys, and the guys seem to have confidence of him in there that they can make big plays, and that's an excellent throw right there by his guy.
Yeah, sure was. Nice play out to Jones. That picks up a 1st down at the 30-yard line, a gain of 15. What about your ball club? A big one Monday night against Dallas, coming off the pounding you took at Pittsburgh. Give me the feel. What kind of week was it here for you here in Philly?
Well, for us, it's an exciting week, but for the people of Philadelphia, obviously, you know, it feels like we're 1-7. But
yeah, I noticed when I came in here.
Oh my goodness! But you know, the thing for us is, you know, we've been in this situation before, and we know how to get ourselves out of it. So it was a relaxed week, but more of a serious business approach, and we'll continue to get better.
Rhodes has broken one. He's going to go. There's a late penalty flag coming in. Touchdown, Syracuse.
Oh, no.
Rhodes broke it for 30 yards, but it looks like it may be coming back.
Well, that's the way things have been going for us this year, and you know, I think we have some young guys and guys that you'll begin to watch later in the future and be very excited of watching.
Donovan, thanks for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll be watching Monday night, Eagles and the Cowboys.
All right, there you go.
Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you, guys.
Donovan McNabb, quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and this touchdown run by Rhodes is brought back.
We talked about the bad decision on the first set of downs for Temple and Phil Goodman. That time, a bad decision by one of the linemen looked down the field that was tangled with Ryan Wallace, and it looked like Damian Rhodes was already almost in the end zone, and the penalty was called. So not a happy sideline, and Paul Pasqualoni wants answers.
That's the worst when you take 6 off the board. That is that's terrible. But now they're backed up 1st and 20 at their own 40. Rhodes gets the carry again, and Rhodes takes a big lick. But takes it down to the 31-yard line, gain of 9. Don't forget, Walter Reyes out of action, shoulder problem. Got hit by Tez Morris hit last week, knocked him out of the game. He's out of today's game. There's a bye week next week, and then the week after that, they play Boston College to wrap up the regular season.
And you see what it means to this offense. 800 yards, that's second in the Big East, and you lose a guy like Walter, you're not losing a guy that carries the load for the football team.
Rhodes 19 for $116 on the rush. Here's number 20, and he's got folks in front of him. Oh, what a block by Terry! Look at his Rhodes! He's in the 10! He's in! Touchdown, Syracuse! A run of 31 yards, and that was textbook blocking. Adam Terry got out and waylaid some folks. The fullback, Breon Evans, as well.
Well, Dave, they had numbers on the edge, and that's all it took for Damian Rhodes to get to the outside. Terrific blocks at the point of attack. Adam Terry, awesome, devastating block.
That is the way you run the toss sweep. Alan Barber on for the point after. He's 17 out of 18 points after this season. 104 for 110 for his career. Senior out of Lexington, Kentucky. Jones puts down the snap. Kick is booted through. Time timeout on the field. 11-11 to go. And Rhodes with an impressive run, aided and abetted. Look at the block there. There's another one there. He's gone. Touchdown, Cuse. And if you're a draftnik, remember this name, Adam Terry. He will be among the first offensive tackles taken next April in the NFL draft. And Damian Rhodes talking about making an account for himself. 31 yards on the run. He's 5 for 69 on that drive. 20 for $148 in the game. And he had a TD called back. And you heard the coaching staff. This is your game. They're going to feed them. And John, goes back to your point. This is who they are. It's a running ball club.
Don't lose your identity. You're a tough, physical Eastern team. Do not, try to shorten the game by throwing the football. There's plenty of time left to get back into the quarter. Turned inside by Clayton, and another fine return outside to the 30. Took it to the 34-yard line to open up the second half. What a good-looking drive, and look at the execution here. It all starts with Steve Gregory, the last guy in the line of scrimmage, looking to pin the linebacker to the inside, then Terry on the outside, just a one-arm shiver. That's just a devastating block. And then also Jason Green gets a hand on the last defensive back that can actually make the play on Damian Rhodes. But it all started with the wideout getting the edge for the lineman to get outside.
And the guy that got one arm shivered was Ryan Wallace.
Yeah,
I mean, he got
pretty impressive.
Like it was nothing. Here's a slant play by Ferguson, picks up good yardage, about 8-9 yards to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little more of Umar Ferguson in this second half, because I think he can really change the pace for Walter Washington. You kind of, give it to him once, give it to him twice, then Walter gets to the outside. I think he's a better north-south runner than Tim Brown.
Tim Brown, step back looking, he's a guy that, he can slide and glide, looking for the corner. But this guy, he's a good slant guy. Gets the call again. Then he turned the corner, does a nice job. He got the first down. He beat the attacker to the edge. Ferry and Weish beat them to pick up the first down.
And just to prove that I was wrong, Ferguson bounces it to the outside, shows you his speed.
Temple open up a 7-0 lead in the first. The 24-yard pass, Washington to Goodman.
And it was a good decision by Ferguson. Nothing there between the tackles, and he actually outran Diamond Ferry to the edge to get the first down. And on the day, 5 rushes, 22 yards.
First and 10 from the 45 for the Owls. Whoa, that's way over. Boy, he threw that with his arm and didn't step into that one.
Yeah, somebody put a pin in that balloon. That ball went everywhere.
Heike Chuku, beg your pardon, was the intended receiver. Owls' second touchdown, 14-0. Walt Washington. Walter Washington, a 1-yard run. That was the Chuku to eBay halfback option that set it up. Orange got on the board. Barber, a 30-yard field goal. Gregory had a 26-yard catch to highlight that drive. Washington, a 19-yard run, 4:34 to go in the second, made it 21-3, and now here we are in the third. Rhodes, a 31-yard run for the Orange, 21-10. Washington, he had it and dropped it. Jamel Harris can't come up with the play. Had he caught it, it still would have been third down and about 4.
Yeah, but it gets into a Walter Washington type situation if he catches the football, Dave. You're exactly right. You have to make plays like that. If you're going to win games, you go back to plays like that stall drives. That would be one you would put a red mark next to. You needed to get a shorter conversion than 3rd and 10.
Temple 6th and 3rd down conversions, having a good day today. On the season at 33%. Washington, fade, got a man there, bumping, and he flags, no. On the far side, battle in there. That was Bucci eBay. And pretty good coverage down there by Marcus Clayton.
Well, good set of downs for the Orange on defense. They come out and they put a stop to the running of Walter Washington and also the passing game of the Temple Owls. They do a good job defensively on their first 2 series.
Bembo's back to get this punt from Hendy, averaging 35 yards on 3 punts. Oh, he just got it off. Great hang time. Wynn holding it there, and the fair catch made it to the 25-yard line. Flag back upfield. 4.5 on the hang time on a punt that carried 30 yards.
I think they're going to call a personal foul.
Sure enough, there's a break for the Owls. Boy, if you're Syracuse, that's a killer. You get the ball back. If you punch in for a touchdown, it's a 21-17 ball game.
Foul, roughing the kicker, number 52 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
Jameel McClain called for the infraction. A killer.
Well, it took an awful long time for the official to get that flag out. We didn't see one initially. We get a chance to see the replay. It wasn't touched, and he runs right into the leg. It looked like he tried to avoid. That was a pretty good acting job by the kicker.
So Rhodes about to bathe in that sunlight on this cold day here in Philadelphia. And the Owls in pretty good shape now. Ball's inside the 40 of Syracuse.
Boy,
first and 10.
Dave, I think they have to get back to the running of Walter Washington.
They bring the safety up, and they run Ferguson right side. Kellen Pruitt brings him down 8 of 3. Pruitt number 41 with help from Diamond Ferry.
Even though there's 9:48, 47 and counting in this game, it's still a possession game for the Temple Owls. They have to grind out that clock and get something on this drive.
21-10 Owls. They led 21-3 at halftime. Bobby Wallace's club trying to knock off the Syracuse Orange for the second time in a row. They knocked off Barcelona's crew here in 02 when Barber doinked an extra point off an upright. Bullet for it all. Goodman down there, and no, he did get a hand on it. Pretty good coverage, very good coverage by Marcus Clayton. It was one of those plays that maybe if he had thrown it short and let him come back for it, he might have had a play.
Yeah, you're right. You know, not a very good route by Phil Goodman on a go route. He started outside and never got on top of the cornerback, and that was an excellent play on the outside by Marcus Clayton. Good positioning, and hey, look at this, Boston College all over West Virginia at halftime.
We'll see BC here next week. It'll be the Big East finale for both clubs. And if there's Georgia Tech leading 7-0 over Connecticut. Goodman's got to be crazy with himself, too, because he's 6'3", going against the 5'7" Clayton. You know he wants another piece of that action. Washington going to take it on the ground, and he's going to be short of a first down by about 4 or 5 yards.
Well, if I'm Temple, I may go for this on 4th down.
Saw Washington say, hey, let's do it.
I don't think they can get enough boot into it on the field goal attempt, and I don't know if you want to waste a punt and maybe only gain 10 or 12 yards. You might want to go for it on 4th down.
I think they're going to go for it. I think that's what they're going to do. Temple on the season, they've gone for it a bunch. They're second in the conference to West Virginia, 13 of 22, which is 59%. 4th and 2. Washington. There's a catch, and it's good for the first down. They got it to Jamel Harris, the sophomore from Shrewsbury, New Jersey.
Yeah, you get that wide out on a linebacker, just in a little option route to the outside in a little bit of space. Good throw by Walter Washington, and a redemption catch by Harris. He dropped the one on the near sideline. That time he had no choice but to catch that football.
It was right there. Syracuse starting today. One game, beg your pardon, behind West Virginia. Syracuse with a chance, with help, to win the Big East title. But right now, Temple moving the ball. Here's Ferguson. Great block. Probably going to be a hold as Ferguson breaks it back to the 10. I got a feeling it's going to be a hold on the wideout. Bucci Ibe on the far side. He was stalemated at the 15-yard line, a gain of 18.
Yeah, Dave, it's either him or it's on Harris on the inside slot receiver, but one of the wide receivers out there had too much white jersey for the officials to ignore.
Boy, that was clear as day. I didn't even have to look at our monitor. I could see that naked eye on the far side. It was a
holding, number 10 on the offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
So they saw Jamel Harris. But that was a multiple choice. You had Harris or you had eBay.
There was a lot of cloth between the two.
And choice C was William Penn.
Well, you know, it gets into a situation where they just, you know, you convert a 4th down and they don't capitalize on their success offensively. There's a guy. He looked like he has a little cloth in his hand.
On top of City Hall here. That's one of the high, it used to be the highest point in Philadelphia. Top of Billy Penn's hat. First and 14 at the 30. Washington's got it. Look at this. Look at this.
scary.
It's a good thing Smith was over there because that was 6. Gain of 12. And again, you talked about it. Establishing Ferguson set it up.
Oh, absolutely. You have to do that, but look at Walter Washington elude. I'm so impressed on how big he is. And watch his legs get up in the air and elude arm tackles. And then he just runs through, almost runs through the last tackle to the end zone.
He's very deft on his feet. 13 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing for Walter Washington. Ferguson stood up, but he picks up the first down. Jerry Mackey. 4th in tackles on the ball club for the linebacker. Nephew of former Syracuse great John Mackey, the Hall of Famer. That's a first down for the Owls. So that 4th down conversion looming large here. Syracuse down 21-10 here to Temple. Clock running at 6:40 to go here in the 3rd. They're just chewing up all kinds of time here.
Well, Bobby Wallace and that offensive staff would really love for his offense right now to grow up and learn how to win a game and put one out of reach, and they could do it right here.
Owls haven't won a Big East game since the 02 season. They're going for Goodman. He made the catch, but he's out of bounds. Again, there's that height advantage over Clayton. It's no contest. Goodman at 6'3". It's like a basketball rebound. He just goes in and posts them up and uses his body. Great call. No chance.
Great call, but helping the defense was the win, Dave. That ball sailed and kept going towards the sideline. You see Goodman trying to get his a visual on the ball to try to go up and get it, but the ball kept going and drifting out of bounds, and that's something you might see again, but Walter Washington may get the fake inside and run it himself here on 2nd down.
Give it to Ferguson for about 3. It's Thorner, Pruitt, and Weiss in on the tackle for Syracuse.
Well, Dave, it would be like putting a Band-Aid on a cut right now if you kick a field goal. You want to go in and get 6 points if you're Temple, and you have to because that leaves the door wide open for Syracuse if you kick a field goal. If you're Temple side, they have a terrific drive going, aided by a penalty, 13 plays, 57 yards. They're eating up huge amount of time on the clock. You need 6, not 3.
3rd and 6 at the 11 for the Owls. They're going for Goodman. He's there. Goodman on the rebound. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, it looked like he had 6. The back judge had a fabulous look of opportunities to get a touchdown. It's a dribble kick that goes to Kellen Pruitt. And Pruitt will go out of bounds. Well, Phil Goodman knows he's got a good thing going here. It's a great effort right here.
Well, the first time they tried to get the football to him, it drifted out of bounds. So he took a look at the sidelines. Hey, let's do that again. I can get him on the outside. And you want to give him another chance because he has the size on the outside. He has the football here, but Diamond Ferry gets his right arm on the football and strips it away.
Here's Rhodes on the sweep. Terry got another big clean-out block. And big yardage again for the Owls. Adam Terry wiped out the corner, Bobby Fillmore. Adam Terry can really run. I mean, if he gets out cleanly, it's over.
Oh, yeah, he's a terrific guy, and he's got great feet for a big body, 6'9", 324. And let me tell you what it did for Syracuse's offense. It gave Damian Rhodes a huge rest for Temple to go all that way, 16 plays and 58 yards, only to get 3 points. So Adam Terry, that offensive line is rested, but more importantly, Damian Rhodes is rested.
21 for 160 and a touchdown for Damian Rhodes. Play fake it, and they get it to the fullback. Breon Evans on the far side, and he picks up a first down. Nicely done. Gain of 11.
That wind has an effect on that kicking game because Syracuse started with excellent field position. Now 2 offensive plays, and it's 1st and 10. Ball on the 41-yard line of Temple, and they're trying to get back into this game and shorten the clock.
Yeah, 2 plays.
Yeah.
They got to the 41-yard line. 294 total offense for the Orange. Adding to that total now, Rhodes with that carry picks up 5. Temple with 296. total offense-wise, both teams moved the ball pretty well. Syracuse last in total offense in the conference, and Temple's fifth.
Well, this is exactly what Syracuse wanted to do offensively. Get a quick score, move the football down the field, not take a lot of time off the clock. Damian Rose, 22 rushes for 165 yards.
7 points. Wow. Pop looking for more here. It's been a bread and butter play, and that time a takedown. A couple of owls over there. Mendenhall for one, and Fulmore the other.
Yeah, credit Fulmore's hurt. Fulmore gave up his body. He kind of went in very awkwardly to try to take out one of the lead blockers, and I don't blame him. Looks like he hurt possibly his leg, but he went in there with reckless abandon.
Time out on the field as they attend to Fulmore. Fulmore's a junior, 6', 200. Out of Rochester, New York, with Erie Community College before coming to Temple. Let's see, there's Fulmore 15, and then Mendenhall fell on something. Maybe it's just the impact. That's how he's down there right now. But Syracuse in this possession, I mean, they give up the field goal, and bing, 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 here they are in Temple territory knocking on the door at the 35.
Well, Syracuse needs to score quickly here and get the ball back, because in the fourth quarter, they're going to be going against a very stiff wind. And with the problems in the kicking game, they're going to have to get inside the 20 to even have opportunities to score through special teams. So they're going to have to get one here quickly and then try to get field position back for their offense.
Looking at a 3rd and 4 at the 35, the Orange 5 of 9 converting today. This play already, 4 plays, 29 yards and 106. Toss play, Rhodes. Ooh, who gave up their body there? What a play. Did you see that? Jermaine Hargraves came up. Boy, he was slamming on that one.
Terrific play. You have to be tough. You know, you don't get a lot of size at the cornerback position, but you have to be a tough football player, and that's exactly what Hargraves shows you on this play. Just giving up his body right there, going under the block of Breon Evans, and that'll force Syracuse on 4th down to go for it. Good play.
And he made the tackle.
Yeah, great play.
Terrific performance. They're 0 for 1 on 3rd down. It's 4th and 3 at the 34. Play fake. Patterson in trouble. Running around, buying some time. Gonna throw. Got it! First down! Syracuse! Got it to Kovaleski to the 18-yard line. A gain of 16. And talk about some boys in the pocket. Perry Patterson, a big play.
Well, we talked to Donovan McNabb. That looked a little bit like Donovan McNabb. Great play by Perry Patterson. He kept the play alive. A.J. Lindsey doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with Patterson. Then he just throws a nice touch pass to Joe Kovaleski.
We've done this play before. Rhodes went airborne. Oh, man.
Don't know
the price.
There's Donovan.
Let me know. Yeah, your hair's okay. You're all right. He'll pump in the dreads tomorrow. Get ready for the flight down to Dallas. Boy, going airborne like Rhodes did.
Good idea.
I think that goes into the category. I don't know if I'd have done that.
That's exactly right.
2nd down. Toss play. They got it blocked on the edge. Real well, might be a hole. He's in for a touchdown. No flags. No flags. Touchdown Orange. 16 yards on the run. That was beautifully blocked. Hargraves, though, is pleading in case that he got held. That's what I saw late. He's even pointing to the line judge. Look at a big board.
I know. I think he might have a case, but as you said, no late flag, and Jermaine Hargraves upset on the play. He thought he was held, but great execution by Syracuse. Just Damian Rose walks in on the 16-yard touchdown run, his 2nd of the day.
That was out of Lombardi School, because everybody's block was key and everybody executed. Here's Barber for the point after. Another quick striking drive. Barber's point after is good, and we got a ball game. It's 24-17 Temple over Syracuse, 2:31 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Donovan McNabb, they may want to record what he had to say at halftime and use it again later on this season. 24-17 Temple. And here come the Orange. The Orange, seeing Rhodes go 26 carries for $186, 2 rushing touchdowns. In lieu of the absence of Walter Reyes, leading rusher on the ball club, out with a shoulder injury. They hope to have him back in 2 weeks for the regular season finale against Boston College. Brendan Kearney has it teed up. Porter's deep to receive. Porter has gotten it past the 30 the last 2 kick returns. If they kick away from him, they'll kick it right to him again. Drive him yard deep in the end zone. He'll have to sit on that one. He'll take a knee. Temple will start at its own 20. Very important drive here by the Owls. They need to go down and get a touchdown. If not, if they don't get a touchdown, Syracuse will get the ball with an opportunity to tie the game up. And let's take a look at our Hyundai cool facts. It's about the Owl of Temple. And it's a night school, symbol of Athena, goddess of arts and skills and even warfare. Don't mess around.
Well, some of those Owls on offense need some skill right now to eat up 2 minutes and 31 seconds so they can take advantage of the wind.
First play, Washington will take it, and they were waiting for it. They were waiting for him. Nothing there. As Syracuse stands strong. Lee Williams in there, Ryan Lacasse as well.
Yeah, the reason I mentioned the wind, Dave, is because field position is so important now. It's a one-possession score at 24 or 17. They need to kick the football with this wind if they have to punt it away, meaning Temple needs to get 1 first down on this drive.
Temple had a 21-3 lead, now 24-17. Second down, Washington all day, throws over the middle, and he's got DJ eBay, and eBay fights his way to the 26. Bucci out of East Orange, New Jersey, with the Hudson Valley Community College. Prior to coming to Temple.
We talked with Steve Dunlap a lot throughout the year, and he's trying to coach his guys on defense for Syracuse to tackle the football. Now would be an excellent time to try to tackle the football. It looked like on that second down reception, they were going at the football.
Clock running, 1:22 and counting here in the third. Syracuse with a couple of touchdowns here in the third quarter. Opens up here for Washington. First down and more. Takes 2 guys to bring him down at the 40-yard line. First down Owls. Smith, along with Troy Swittenberg, make the tackle. A 14-yard run by Washington.
Well, very important first down for Walter Washington. When it's crunch time, you go to your guy, and who didn't stay at home was Ryan Lacasse, the number 94 on the right side for Syracuse. He took the bait down with the fake on the inside, and he didn't stay at home, and that left it. All Walter needs is a step, and he gets to the outside and moves the chains.
Inside a minute to play in the third. From the 40, a first down for the Owls. Overload the top of your screen. Washington, he's flushed and taken out from behind. The tackle for a loss by Tony Jenkins. Tony, number 51, redshirt freshman out of Springfield, Virginia. Had a very impressive spring. He's done a nice job for him on that D-line this year.
Yeah, and he had a nice game last week against Pittsburgh. A couple big plays, and haven't mentioned Tony's name much today for Syracuse defensively, but it comes up big there on first down.
See if they get one more play off before the end of the quarter. Got a 1-second differential, play clock and game clock. Second down, 11. And they get it out to Goodman. Goodman steps through. He's got a man to beat. Nice move by Goodman. Can he hold on to the ball? He doubles up. He does a good job to the 16-yard line. 15-yard line. A big play for the Owls, and that'll do it for the third quarter. A gain of 46 yards to Phil Goodman. So Goodman with a big play right here. Temple with a touchdown lead, trying to extend it to 2 as we head to the fourth quarter. Goodman abusing Clayton all day, and he gets him for 46. Well, the big question, Temple winless in the Big East season so far. Could they get the emotion and the execution going against Syracuse? And so far, they have done it, leading by as much as 21-3. They want to run some plays. They know they can do some things against Syracuse, and they're this close. Well, they're 15 minutes away right now, and they lead it 24-17 as we begin the fourth quarter here at Lincoln Financial Field. Dave Sims and John Kinjemi with you. Time of possession this afternoon. The Owls with the advantage, 24 minutes and change to 20 minutes and change for the Orange. A 46-yard pass play to Goodman set up this possession right here. And look at Walter Washington. Positive yardage again inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Picks up about 7. Boy, he's murdered to bring down.
You know, Dave, the weird thing about it is you know it's coming. You know, in this season, total yards, Walter Washington, 26-69. That sets a Temple record for total offense in a season. And the former record was by Henry Burris in 94. And you know it's coming. And he just keeps going downhill. And Diamond Ferry gets him down to the ground, but not after positive yardage.
17 for a $120. 2 touchdowns on the ground today for Washington. There's the little guy, Brown, inside the 5. He's got the first down to the 4. Tim Brown. There was a Tim Brown that played here with the Eagles back in the early 60s, and what a player he was. Out of Ball State. West Virginia, no contest at West Virginia.
No gunpowder today.
Oh, somebody must have wet it down. Huh?
No.
Connecticut on the short end on the road at Georgia Tech in a non-conference game. Right here, Syracuse down a touchdown. There's Washington. He's in. Touchdown Owls. And it's 30-17 Temple. A 4-yard run by Washington. His 3rd running touchdown today. I'm telling you, I'd rather be up here calling than trying to stop him.
You can't stop him. He's just downhill from the first quarter to the fourth quarter.
Bucks for the point after. Here's money in the bank. So that gives him, it ties the record. Total touchdowns in a season of 15 ties the mark set by Paul Palmer in 1986. What a player. 31-17 Temple over Syracuse.
And well-deserved pats on the back because all year long this Temple offense goes as Walter Washington goes. And he's been actually very impressive throwing the football today, and he's always been impressive running it. He's a strong, durable quarterback that gets it done in multiple fashions offensively. Just a great effort the past 2 weeks. I think Bobby Wallace said he had his best game last week against West Virginia. Well, he may have to reserve those comments for this week.
Temple leading Syracuse 31-17. The fake to Brown ball a little bit of time.
Get out of my way.
And he runs right through 3 guys. I mean, he trampled Smitty. He ran right over Anthony Smith. 8 plays, 80 yards, and 330 for the Owls.
First he had to fight Tim Brown. Said, no, I'm not giving it to you. Get out of the way. This is my touchdown. His eyes got huge.
Goodman's 46-yard catch had him knocking on the door, and they got through.
Well, now Syracuse going against this win. 14:01 left to go in the game, and down 31-17.
Temple now, you can bet they'll start ball hawking big time. Diamond Ferry, knowing that the wind is against the kicker. Lux, he moves up. He can move up even further, makes the catch at about the 14-yard line. And pretty good coverage over there by Andrew Turner to get him out of bounds. Walter Washington, 10 of 18, 130 and a touchdown. And then look at the running game, 18 for $1.25. He's something special.
He is something special, and he's so durable. He's so strong between the tackles, you can't bring him down.
So he had the shoulder problem.
UConn, he hurt his right shoulder, didn't practice all week last week. His first attempt was an interception, but then he came back and played the best offensive game of the season.
Big gash there by Rhodes as he gets into the 35-yard line. A.J. Lindsey made the tackle. Good blocking in there by Matt Tarullo. Single season record, matching the number put up by Paul Palmer in 1986. Temple with a 2-touchdown advantage. And right up the middle again.
Fumble.
How about this? How about this? Temple's recovered. Well, Paul Pasqualoni was getting heat in Syracuse in the last couple of weeks. Darrell Davis didn't make the picture any prettier here.
Dave, nothing but Ralph in the run.
Well, that's got to put a damper on Syracuse, and you give the football to the fullback, and he goes up the middle. Terrific downhill tackle by Rodney Wormley. It looked like Wormley was the first guy on him. Coming from the side.
Oh, there it was, the punch out. Yeah,
Yeah.
First guy got him. Yeah, Wormley got him on the first on the punch out. 2 turnovers on the day for Syracuse. None for Temple. Goodman, top of your screen. Nobody guarding him. Washington will keep it on the ground. It's like a bowling ball.
Here comes the sledgehammer, and right now Temple has the hammer in their hand. If they want a knockout punch, here it is with 13:05 left to go. It's Walter Washington.
When they broke the huddle, there was nobody on Goodman, and the defense was still scrambling to get out there. If he had looked up, he had a freebie. They're going to run. I bet they run the same kind of thing. Let's see if they try to get it to Goodman. Got the height advantage. Ferguson taken down by Thorner. Ferguson doesn't have that gone kind of thing. He doesn't have that. So that wasn't his kind of play. Big East football, an upset in the making here in Philadelphia. Lincoln Financial Field. Along with John Congemi, I'm Dave Sims and our ESPN Plus crew. It's been Temple from the get-go, folks. Look at that. Turnovers, 2-0. Temple with the advantage here. Paul Pasqualoni's club was down 14-0 early second quarter. They fought back to make it 24-17 late third. But Temple just put up another score, an 8-play, 80-yard drive in 3:30. Goodman a 46-yard catch, and Walter Washington a 4-yard TD run.
Temple a football length short of that first down on second down.
Wide side of the field to the far side. Let's see how much of a gambler Bobby Wallace and Dave Brock are.
Well, I think Bobby Wallace is going to, it's a great situation, and we just talked about it. You suggesting to me that play action and go up on top, but I think they're going to keep this clock moving, and Walter Washington's going to dive ahead for this first down, or attempt to at least.
He fumbled the football, sure did. He never had it. He never had it. Dunbar's got it over here. Dunbar's got it right here. Dunbar's got the ball at the 30-yard line. They're looking in the pile, and there's Dunbar right there. That's a first down.
Where are they going to spot it? That's my question. I know Temple has the football, but now where do they spot the football?
Kristen Dunbar, the tight end, must have.
There's no way, there's no possible way, Dave, they can have an accurate spotting of this football. The ball went forward in the pile. Look at 46.
There's Dunbar right there,
like, he's going, it's Easter come early. He gets the Easter egg out there and says, I'm going to go home. Hey, boys, I got the football over here.
That's hilarious.
And they don't get the first down.
Inches.
Well, you have to go for it.
No question.
Have to go
Not even a hesitation. But you got to get the snap. I mean, Washington, if he just gets the ball, he probably pulled out to see him bloom ball the center. Pushed out too quickly.
Right.
31-17 early in the fourth here in Philadelphia. Owls converted their only fourth down attempt today. Tell you what, a hearty group of fans on the near side here, mainly Temple fans, Syracuse fans on the far side in this gorgeous facility.
I'd go off the guard or off the tackle a little bit instead of going straight over the center.
Good cut by Ferguson. He got the first down. Tackled by Diamond Ferry. He picked up the first down. Temple trying to knock off Paul Pasqualoni and Syracuse for the second consecutive time here in Philadelphia. 17-16 at the Vet 2 years ago. Bobby Wallace, that was his only win in 6 games against Syracuse.
Dave, I'd be very surprised if they throw the football in this situation. I think you want to eat the clock up and run the football.
Run blitz coming. Ferguson sticks his nose in there, picks up a couple. Kellen Pruitt, Chris Dorner make the stop for Syracuse.
Syracuse doing a good job on first down, trying to tackle the football to try to force a turnover, but there's nothing they can do if Walter Washington continues to move the pile, and I would think he would carry it on second down.
11 carries, 35 yards for Ferguson today. Washington closing in on 200 yards, got 134, 19 carries prior to that one. Got to get a couple players separated. Chuku, one of the DBs. Temple by 2 touchdowns as the clock continues to roll. Brings up a 3rd down and 6.
And if you're Bobby Wallace on the Temple sideline, you want Walter Washington to move that 25-second clock and only snap the football with 3, 2, 1 seconds so they can use the allotted amount of time they have, because right now Syracuse on 1st and 2nd down doing an excellent job stopping the run.
Play clock winding down. Blitz coming. Going for Goodman. Can't make the catch. Guarded by Tenari Jackson. Goodman at 6'3". He caught the first score of the game, a 24-yarder at the 7:30 mark in the first quarter.
Well, good defensive stand by Syracuse when they needed it most. 10:28 left to go in this football game, and they give the football up on a fumble, and let's see if Temple can convert on 3 points or the defense can shut them out here on this series.
41-yard attempt. Lux is 0 for 1 from this distance on the season. Got plenty of leg on it. It is good! Ryan Lux from 41, his second of the day. He had hit from 28 earlier, and Temple extends the lead to 34-17. Putting it on Syracuse today. The Owls, good operation here. Lux, no doubt about it. He hammered it, and they've doubled up the Cuse. Walter Washington's got a bad shoulder. They're taking a look at it. They heard it in the Connecticut game. And the Syracuse fans, Syracuse Ball Club, wish that before it was hurt on him.
Doesn't look that bad.
Jeez, what a game. Here's the Lux kick. Ferry through his hands. Gonna bring it out. Diamond Ferry running hard. Takes a couple to bring him down. Nice return to the 28-yard line. Does a good job. 30 yards on the return as the ball went into the end zone.
Great effort by Diamond Ferry. That's a definite example of Paul Pasqualoni telling us earlier in the week that's a football player on his team.
Damian Rhodes has put up some terrific numbers filling in for Walter Reyes, but right now the Orange down by 17. Rhodes coming up on a 200-yard day. Right now, he's had a lot of room to work, and he's been a punishing runner, more of a punishing runner than I thought he would be. Patterson throwing into the wind. Knocked down, should have been picked. It was Andrew Turner. The wind knocked that ball down. It was on course, and then the wind got a hold of it, intended for Steve Gregory.
Boy, what a nice route by Steve Gregory to the outside, but as you said, Dave, that wind is vicious, and that ball in the last 10 yards just took a nosedive down to the ground. Gregory had his man turned around, but the timing and the wind really had a lot to do with the incompletion.
Patterson, 10 of 21, 128 passing. Running the screen, Rhodes. And he's got folks in front. Got room to run, first down. A heck of a play by Sadiq Kante, because that could have gone another 30 yards. Kante has made a few big ones today. Gain of 14 by Rhodes.
Yeah, Sadiq's been around the football for Temple on defense, and he's had to be around the football because in certain situations he was the last line of defense.
34-17 Temple over Syracuse, 9:48 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Syracuse going into about a 14-mile-an-hour wind. There's a nice dart on the outside to Jones for a first down. into Temple territory at the 42-yard line.
Boy, great job of poise by Perry Patterson directing traffic. He wanted his flat receiver to get out of the way so he could get the football to Jared Jones, who looks a little bit banged up on the play, but good throw and good execution of the offense by Perry Patterson, the sophomore.
Bryce Moss comes in to replace Jared Jones. 1st and 10, Syracuse at the Temple 43. Gregory in motion. And they'll run Rhodes. And he's taken out from behind by Troy Bennett, the outside linebacker, the strong side linebacker. Senior out of Paulsboro, number 44. There's Troy. Wait, bench is 430, squat 610.
Yeah, okay.
This is not your Pappy's Temple Ball Club. I know they don't have a lot of wins to show for it this year, just 1 and 8. Boy, they have got significantly bigger over the last couple, 3 years. 2nd and 6 at the 39. Patterson out pattern, and that's good for 1st down. And he got it into Jones. So Jones, being a gamer in there, picks up 11.
Yeah, had to take a play off. Looked like his legs were bothering him. Gets back in, and that's 2 consecutive throws by Patterson to the short side. And into this wind, you don't want to go from one hash to the other sideline. You want to stay down the middle or on the short side of the field, and that's what Perry Patterson is doing right now. It's more effective into the wind.
Talking about Temple's only win this year, 38-7 against Florida A&M here in Philadelphia. Patterson's numbers. 21st. 1st down. Patterson got all day. Throws underneath Bryce Moss. Moss taken down at the 22. About 4 yards short of a 1st down. Gain of 6. Fulmore goes in on the tackle.
Syracuse State doing a good job. They don't have to go to the hurry up right now, but they're doing a nice job of getting in and out of the huddle and snapping the football and breaking down some plays, you know, with a lot of quickness.
2nd and 3 at the 21. Pump fake, screen left side. Nice catch, Rhodes. He's got help. Cuts back in at the 5. Oh, taken down with a good hard tackle by Sadiq Kante. It'll be first, make that Fulmore. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Orange inside the 5 at the 3-yard line, a gain of 19.
Well, a balancing act by Damian Rhodes. It looked like he came close to stepping out of bounds around the 15-yard line. A great catch. We'll get another look at it right there. He does not. He stays in bounds. Great job of knowing where you are on the football field.
And now a timeout called. Personnel issues. It's like Temple did not get people in there, and D coordinator Raymond Monica is irate. And on the sideline, there's Ray in the gray shirt with Bobby Wallace. They could not get the right people in. They got some people reeling as well. They'll need a blow. Timeout here at Lincoln Financial Field to go. 8:13 to go in a 34-17 Temple lead. 34-17 Temple. Syracuse with a 1st and goal at the 3. Rhodes is the deep back. He'll get the carry. And he's in for the touchdown.
Flag down, though, Dave.
See if we got a hold.
Offside, number 74 on the defense. Penalties declined. Score is good.
Rhodes with a 3-yard touchdown makes it 34-23. That gives him 201 yards on the day. He's more than filled in for Walter Reyes.
He sure is. Well-deserved rest. Great effort as he sticks the ball over the goal line. Conti on the tackle, but they can't keep Rhodes out of the end zone. And a terrific drive put together by Perry Patterson as you take a look at Walter Reyes on the sidelines, who would love to be in there.
3 touchdowns in the day for Rhodes. There's Barber, point after. It is good. 34-24. Temple over Syracuse. Rhodes having a day, huh? 201 yards and 3 touchdowns. Walter Reyes having to sit this one out with a shoulder problem. He had to sit out the West Virginia game with the flu. He and Rhodes are best friends and roommates. And Rhodes also suffers from asthma. So Rhodes was feeling some of those flu symptoms in that West Virginia game. But he's now healthy. Time now to take a look at our Guinness game summary. And Walter Walter Washington, huge part of the Temple story.
He's done a great job offensively. 4 touchdowns, 226 yards of total offense, but Damian Rhodes for Syracuse has answered it with 29 rushes for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. The big thing is the turnover. Syracuse, 2 turnovers, and Temple's done a good job of protecting the football. Temple's last win in the Big East at Rutgers in 2002.
Winless to this point, winless last year in conference play. And Walter Washington and the Owls with a 10-point lead. See if they go for the onside kick. They kick it deep. Oh, through the legs. Not a good sign for Tim Brown. Is he going to get on it? He does. Oh, boy. Right through the 5-hole. Take a look at our game-changing performance. It's brought to you by Pontiac and Walter Washington. You are it, sir. Nice throw to Goodman for 24 yards out. Folds over his guard for a touchdown there. The snap looked like it was just a little... Caught him by surprise, and look what happened. He takes it home for a score. There's another powerful run. So Walter Washington, you got a 10-point lead, 8:08 to go. You're our offensive performer, game changer of the game. And here he goes again. I'll tell you what, he just dragged, who was that? Diamond Ferry for 5 yards. You see that?
It doesn't matter who it is. You know, it could be James Weiss, it could be Diamond Ferry, it could be Anthony Smith. It doesn't matter how big you are, you're going to go for a ride. Most of the time, going towards the goal line, you're trying to defend.
Remember when I saw Walter Washington in late August, and we were doing some work at Temple, and he came in, you know, I saw him coming down the hallway. I just thought it was a lineman. Then we went to the formal meeting. He said, yeah, I'm
right.
Walter Washington, the quarterback. I went, oh my God. I mean, that guy is a rock. Yeah, I thought he was a linebacker, you know, because I'd never seen him in person before. I mean, I've seen him on tape, and, you know, last year, I don't think we didn't do Temple last year.
No, it was...
So I had not really seen him in person. And, you know, he's 6'2", 240, and that's no lie, and very deft with his feet, you know, and is a guy that he's got good speed, almost great speed, and the ability to just run through people. It's remarkable.
Yeah, he bench presses 475 pounds, 6th on the team.
And how many coaches this year have we heard say, hey, he's bigger than half my defensive club? What, are you kidding me? Look at that. He just shed Brian Lacasse again.
Nothing you can do. You really can't stop him. If he has a head of steam going,
it's over.
You're going to catch him and then ride for a couple of yards. Well, Syracuse, Dave, now 3rd down. They finally do stop Temple a little bit on 2nd down. There you go. You see the arm tackle again, and then Smith gets taken for about a 2-yard ride.
6.3 yards per touch. Tim Brown knifing through. That's a 1st down to the 42-yard line for Temple.
That's where Syracuse needed to stop on 3rd down. They have all 3 timeouts remaining, and there's 6:19 left to go in this game. They desperately needed to stop, and I know Paul Pasqualoni knows how important that last play and that last little run by Tim Brown is.
Syracuse came into today's game, the reality of the situation, and they're getting help from Boston College with the storyline. Hey, Syracuse still had a chance. Look at him move here. Oh, man! Pruitt goes for a ride. Smith goes for a ride. It's going to be 2nd down and short for Temple. The story was Syracuse mathematically still had an opportunity with help to win the Big East Conference. And that is sliding down the drain right now. Under 6 to play and down 10.
Well, that last run looked like we were watching a merry-go-round. Everybody jump on and go for a ride.
There's a look at the standings. Syracuse is only a game behind West Virginia, a team that wiped them out at Morgantown. But you figure with Boston College winning, and then Syracuse still has to finish out the regular season against Boston College.
Well, this brings Pittsburgh right back into it, because now that loss to Syracuse last week doesn't mean as much if they can run the table.
Pittsburgh has remaining, just West Virginia.
Notre Dame today and West Virginia, and
in conference play.
Conference play.
So 3-2. And West Virginia losing. Yeah, so Pittsburgh,
they have to beat West Virginia. And in the backyard brawl.
Right. That would give them the tiebreaker head-to-head.
Right. And they've beaten Boston College already.
That's right. Washington. For about 3 or 4, Diamond Ferry, the last thing he wanted to know, that number 11 was coming through that hole, and who got up quicker? Walter Washington and not Diamond Ferry.
Yeah. Walter Washington, we talked about the afternoon that Damian Rhodes has had, but Walter Washington's done an outstanding job of running the football for his offense and really carrying the load. Everybody has to look for number 11 to make plays if they're going to have a chance to win football games, and it looks like he's made enough plays today to give them that opportunity.
26 for $165 for Walter Washington. I'm laughing because I just feel so fortunate that I'm not a DB today.
Yeah, yeah. It's a downhill slide, and he's the one with the hammer.
Clock to 5 minutes, 23 seconds.
Temple fans groaning. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules of these two clubs, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance. Both teams have BC on the schedule. Bobby Wallace trying to get his first Big East win. The 04 campaign, the last Big East season for the Caplao. Head-to-head contact there, Washington against Anthony Smith. Smitty and Ferry got to be saying, hey, man, somebody else. Somebody in team line's got to do me a favor.
How about giving it to Tim Brown a couple times? We can handle him.
No,
even though Tim's had some good runs, but that's a hammer. That's a sledgehammer coming in.
My man, I got a plan. You want the D line, you get in there trying to stop the guy with the ball, number 11.
I'm telling you, he is just relentless. Well, now, if you're Syracuse on this third down, you have to think about taking a timeout, possibly, and using one of the 3 they have if they can get a stop.
They're beating the clock to death, too. Bobble there by Washington. Barely got him on the ground. James Weiss with the stop. That sets up a 4th and short here. That'll bring on the punt.
Well, if you're Temple right now, you want to take the 5-yard penalty. You have the wind at your back. You want to let that play clock run all the way down to double zeros and take the 5-yard penalty, and then go ahead and try to punt on 4th down.
Play clock at 5. If they do take the penalty, they don't. Boy, how about the block by Troy Bennett? Ball taking a Temple hop. Rolls to the 15-yard line. 4.2 on the hang time. And that punt covered 28 yards. To take a timeout, Walter Washington has done a season's work today. It's unbelievable. 10-point lead by Temple. Good luck at Philadelphia from the Camden side of things. It's been all Temple today. That's no lie, no exaggeration. 34-24. They're at 14-0 early. Led by as many as 21-3. And here's Syracuse throwing into the wind. Oh, that should have been picked off. They red screen all the way. Jason Johnson, a junior from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, number 90, had the opportunity and couldn't come up with it.
Wow, this one was up for grabs, Dave. Perry Patterson making a bad decision. If it's covered, throw the football away, but don't throw it into a crowd. There's 2 defenders there. Lucky it wasn't picked off.
Patterson, there's a football play by Sadiq Kante. He has been laying wood all day. Oh, good hit.
You can feel that one up here, Dave.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it. Sadiq has made 2, 3, 4 different plays on receivers and running backs and quarterbacks. He's been all over the football field.
3rd down and 2. Patterson. And he completes the 1st down. Jared Jones in front of Ray Lamb. And Pittsburgh on the short end right now, early on at Notre Dame, 7-0. Notre Dame, factoring in that BCS situation. Patterson all day. Throws off the back foot. Ball's up in the air. Oh, boy. A couple of opportunities there. That play took a long time.
Credit Perry Patterson for keeping that play alive. He did it within the pocket, and his feet are very good today of eluding people and buying some time. Almost, it goes off of Bimbo 7, then off of 2 Owl defenders, and almost into the arms of Fontenette.
Syracuse would certainly love to get a break like that.
Yeah.
3:01 to go, down 10.
If you're Temple, you want to, no big plays here over 10 or 15 yards. You have to keep everything in front of you.
Nothing on the screen, going deep, but he's got some separation there. Oh, what a leg! He dropped it! Fontenette had it! That would have been probably his biggest play of his career. He had a couple of steps on Ray Lamb, and that was a beautifully thrown ball by Perry Patterson.
Right into the wind. And how do you let somebody by you? Ray Lamb, Fontenette's 2 steps by Ray Lamb and doesn't come up with the catch.
That would have been a 62-yard connection.
Boy, he laid out beautifully for it, right on his fingertips, and he just can't come down with the reception. One heck of a throw by Perry Patterson.
Sure was. I mean, into a stiff wind. 2:52 to go and a 10-point deficit for the 'Cuse. That time again, throws, got Gregory over the middle. First down, Temple territory at the 49, gain of 19.
Syracuse has all 3 timeouts remaining, plenty of time on the clock at 2:44.
Start the clock again. Out pattern gets Bimbo. He'll step out of bounds. Picks up about 4. Stops the clock at 2:36 to go.
Patterson 19 of 33 for 234 on the afternoon, and he's kept a lot of plays alive. Temple has been trying to pressure the pocket, and Perry Patterson has done a nice job of eluding pressure and trying to keep Paul Pasqualone's Orange in this football game.
Patterson from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, about 90 minutes west of Philadelphia. There with a lot of friends and family on hand. 4-man rush by the Owls. Patterson hangs, throws underneath Jones. Close to a first down inside the 40. Looks like he does have the first down, gain of 8. Yep, they do move the sticks, so get a stoppage of the clock, 2:28 to go. Syracuse down 10. Patterson's got time, throws it downfield, interception. That might be your ball game. Here's Lamb taking it back. And a fine play. Boy, that was poorly overthrown there. Actually, that was DeMarco Dotson. Makes the pick. DeMarco Dotson. His first INT. 3rd turnover today by the Orange, and none for Temple.
Well, Dave,
and the Orange fans on the far side, John, they're out of here.
Yeah, if it's not blitz, the last place you want to hang the football up is over the middle, and that's exactly what Perry Patterson did. There was a free safety, a center fielder right in the middle of the field, and that was DeMarco Dawson, who came up with the interception. 3 big, costly turnovers for Syracuse today.
Here's Washington, 1st and 10, the 41. Ferguson with the carry. And James Weiss brings him down. And I'll call a timeout. 2:08 to go. 2 times out remaining. Temple's last victory over Syracuse was the last visit here at Veterans Stadium, 2002. 17-16. Missed extra point by Barber. We'll take a timeout and get back to the last 2:08 here at the Link. 10-point lead for Temple. Robbie Wallace, 2:08 away from his 2nd consecutive victory over Syracuse here in Philadelphia. 41-17 last year at the Dome, the Carrier Dome. The Orange won that game. Ferguson straight up the gut. Picks up 5, maybe 6 to the 49-yard line. Great day for Damian Rhodes, our Outback Steakhouse outstanding back of the game. 29 carries for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Walter Reyes out of action with a shoulder injury. And Rhodes, usually in tandem with Reyes, a big part of the running game. Load falling totally on the shoulders of Rhodes, and he and the offensive line did the job today. But turnovers, 3 turnovers today for Pasqualoni's ball club result in 10 Temple points, and that's where we are right now, 34-24.
Well, Dave, we thought that would be the question, and quite easily Damon Rhodes answered that question. He was able to run for 200 yards on 29 carries, able to carry the load of Walter Reyes and Damian Rhodes today, and well-deserved afternoon, and it comes in, it looks like, with 2:02 left in a loss for Syracuse, but what an outstanding day he had on the ground.
Temple has 2 times out remaining. Syracuse has 1 remaining. Other scores, West Virginia 10-point deficit at home to Boston College.
That's a big surprise.
Georgia Tech in the ACC up by 17 on Connecticut. Pittsburgh's come back to tie. Pittsburgh about an 11-point underdog in that game today out at South Bend. Washington's got it on a keeper. Look at this. Taken out of bounds by Anthony Smith. What a load carried today by Walter Washington. He has been magnificent. Gain of 17. And he's tired. The only thing he did wrong was go out of bounds on that play. Great fake.
Awesome fake to the tailback, and he's all alone down the Syracuse sidelines. And if I'm Walter, I've taken a beating all day. Maybe I just fall down and stay in bounds and not take the hit again, because he's taken a beating with a bad shoulder as well. There's a time and place, you know, to keep running tough, and that one wasn't one of them.
29 for 185, 3 touchdowns, 10 for 19 passing, a $130 and a touchdown. And this is just by the way stuff right now. It's Pollard with a late grip and throw down on Ferguson. Clock winding down at 1:39 to go. How about the Temple Owls are going to get their first Big East win of the season? And I tell you what, if you're Boston College looking at this film, boys, you better
find a way to stop 11, because that's
gear
the
it
key. Look at that, 130 yards through the air and 1 touchdown. He had 29 carries to match Damian Rhodes' carry output for 185 yards.
4th in total offense, averaging 269.4. He beat that badly today. Ferguson, nowhere to run there. Just an outstanding performance by the Temple Owls today. We're in the final minute of play. I want to thank the men in the booth, stage manager Steve Kerper and Rich Freesia and Dean Esposito on the stats. Sam Bertini, congratulations on the triplet. Sam, out of baby. Sam and the missus. Dave Platts missing audio, graphic stats, John Kettering, Mark Vidonic, and the entire crew here in Philly.
I bet they were well fed today as well.
That's not even news. Give me a real news flash. The Temple Owls.
Look at Bobby Wallace. How excited is he?
Good for him. There's a guy that's highly regarded in the coaching community, the Big East staff. And you said in a conversation yesterday.
We were talking about it before the game, and you just had that feeling. Bobby Wallace, he had such a confidence about him. He said, hey, we have nothing to lose, and Syracuse has everything to lose.
No question.
And that's the way they played today, with nothing to lose, and Walter Washington carried them to victory.
You can, as the clock ticks away, the Temple Owls with a 10-point win over the Syracuse Orangemen. 34-24. They went out to a 14-0 lead, led 21-3. And their hammer, Walter Washington, used early and often. And there's Bobby Wallace with a well-earned game ball. Yes, sirree. Damian Rhodes put up numbers today, but Syracuse not in this one. They dropped to 3-2 in the conference, 5-5 overall. Temple goes to 1-4 in the conference, 2-8 overall. They just had no answers today for number 11, Walter Washington. Look at Ryan Wallace, the outstanding linebacker. Walter Reyes. This is all Temple today. I mean, from the get.
Absolutely. They started on a mission today, and Bobby Wallace, probably felt that way all week, and it was a type of effort that the team built into this Saturday. I mean, they came up, and no matter what was going to happen in the beginning of the game, they weren't going to be deterred from their mission of having an opportunity to win this game at home.
So 2 straight wins in Philadelphia for the Owls over Syracuse. Series now at 25, 10-1 in favor of the Orange, but 0-2. And joining us right now, Bobby Wallace. Bobby, Dave Simpson, John Kingemi upstairs. Congratulations on the victory. You had a feeling about this game, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We've just been playing so good since we got in the Big East. This is, I imagine, the 4th game. I don't know how the stats turned out, but we've just been there. We've been close. We're ahead of Pittsburgh in the 4th quarter. We tied with Rutgers in the 4th quarter, and of course, it wasn't over till the end today. But I just felt like we were playing good football.
Coach, would you please get a hot bath for Walter Washington, because he's going to need it. What an outstanding performance! I was impressed early in the game the way he threw the football, but he's coming, and Syracuse couldn't stop him.
Well, it's just so hard to stop the quarterback running plays because you don't have enough people in the box, and when you put enough people in there, if he's accurate, he can throw the football. And he did a great job, like you said, throwing accurately. And he's a good quarterback. If he never ran a down, which we don't want that, but if he never ran the football, he's still a good quarterback throwing the ball.
It's interesting, Bobby. West Virginia getting pounded by Boston College. BC comes in here next week. Tell you what, you guys are in good shape to knock them off.
Well, I didn't know. I hadn't even heard that score, so I'm just going to enjoy this one.
I don't blame you.
Don't even make me go there.
No, you're right. This is well deserved. I tell you what, you had a lot of big plays on defense as well.
Well, we did, and of course the big intersection there at the end. I thought their quarterback was doing a great job hitting the sideline routes, and we weren't using enough time, but we were playing man coverage. We just were struggling playing our 2 deep out of our regular defense, but when we finally went to a nickel package and got some 2 coverage in there and intercepted an overthrown ball. But I think they did a great job in the 4th quarter on offense, keeping the pressure on us.
Coach, I thought that the first play of the 2nd quarter was awesome. 51-yard pass from Chukwu to eBay, and it was a great call to change up. It wasn't Walter Washington.
Well, we've been working on that, and we felt like we'd have a chance at it. I thought Butchie eBay, he did a great job with the faking the blocking, and then when the corner came up, he released, and Ike's a good, he's our backup quarterback, really, and so he threw a great pass, and we were able to get a touchdown out of it.
Hey, Bobby, congratulations, terrific win. Go enjoy it, and we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach.
Thanks, Jim. John.
When we come back, we'll talk to Walter Washington, the hero today for the Temple Owls. A resounding win is Washington exchanging some pleasantries with Walter Reyes, so no doubt about it for Temple.
I reach over and click up that toggle. The only place in the world where I can have a day where everything goes my way. All I want to do is race, Daddy. It's like you.
We don't ain't the guy with the fastest car, son. Just the one who refuses to lose.
Some people take out loans to buy a house, and in the end, they get a house. Well, I take out loans to race, and in the end, I get racing.
Why'd you try to pass on the outside of the turn?
I figured I could win.
But isn't coming in second better than wrecking?
Second place, just the first loser.
The winner, Mr. Dale Earnhardt.
Good look at Center City and City Hall here in Philadelphia. Temple with a big win, 34-24 over the Syracuse Orangemen, and the hero of the day for the Orange, Walter Washington. Walter, Dave Simpson, John Kingemi, great win today. And the thing I was impressed with, you still had so much left in the tank as the game went along.
Yeah, I was just able to keep my poise and not use that much energy in doing certain plays, passing plays and running plays at the same time, so I was able to keep a lot of energy during the game.
Well, Walter, I was so impressed with you throwing the football early in the game. You were very accurate early, but you were a sledgehammer running the football. They just could not account for you running the football. And how's that shoulder? Did it hold up?
It held up, for the whole game. At the end, it began to give out on me. I'm just able to make it through the game and keep going.
Tell me what this win means. I mean, you've been knocking on the door. You've had some games where you were there and you have a couple of plays that went against you. This time, you guys get out quickly, and you kept the pressure on all day.
Yeah, this win means a lot to us. We know we was able to win every game that we played, and this game was very special coming in and getting the win. And we treasure it as a team, and we're going to harness it and go on to the next week.
Walter, did you guys have a feeling during the week that you could win this football game? Like, it felt like Coach Wallace, talking with him yesterday, felt like Syracuse had everything to lose coming in, and you guys just wanted to go out and play a solid game.
Yeah, we knew we was able to win this game. We was able to beat them last year and wasn't able to do it, and we came into our own house and we knew they were struggling on the road, and we was able to get this win.
You must love running over DBs, because I know Anthony Smith and Diamond Ferry got sick of seeing you getting through the second and third level.
Yeah, I love running over DBs. I love them.
Walter, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.
Go rest up for next week.
And we'll see you against Boston College.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Walter Washington, talk about putting up some numbers.
I love to run over DBs.
We did a heck of a job. Back with more in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. 34-24. Walter Washington, Bobby Wallace, and the Temple Owls with a tremendous win today. Their first win in Big East play in the 04 season. Dave Simpson, John Kinjemi. Again, I'm glad I'm not a DB.
No.
Because he punished Syracuse all day.
Anybody that says at the quarterback position, I love running over people, it is a talent. And that's probably the first time it's ever been said, but it's an art. I mean, he has it down to a science. He makes the defensive end miss. He makes the first linebacker miss, and whoever's playing DB gets a carry for 3 or 4 yards, down the field. He just does an excellent job of breaking the line of scrimmage and making positive plays with his legs.
And you don't always get a chance to get a clean shot because he is elusive on top of the fact that he's so powerful. Let's take a look at some highlights of Walter Washington in action this afternoon. He threw the ball very effectively, this one, to Phil Goodman.
Well, I thought early, Dave, he threw the ball well, and that was the key, going outside to Goodman. They thought they had a mismatch, but there's his strength again, going through the line of scrimmage, gets a bad snap, bounces off of people for touchdowns.
Walter Reyes did not play today. Shoulder injury, suffered it last week against Pittsburgh. It turned out that it wasn't that big a factor. Yeah, you always miss a guy that's one of your all-time, maybe top 5 running backs ever at Syracuse, but Damian Rhodes more than filled in, going from minute 1 to minute last.
Yeah, 29 carries for 200 yards. He was very productive in the absence of Walter Reyes, but he didn't have that 1-2 punch. He didn't have really anybody to spell him, and he wasn't tired at the end of the game, but he may have needed that extra burst at the end, but he did an absolutely spectacular job of running the football. There were huge holes early in the game to get them back into the football game, but on the perimeter, he could use his speed, and on the option, on the edge, he was deadly to the outside.
This is going to be a brutal week in Syracuse. Fairly or unfairly, people have been on Paul Pasqualoni big time, and today's loss, this was really not as close to 10 points as might have. You could look at this as a 17-point loss, whatever. 34-24, the heat's going to really be intense now.
Oh, absolutely, and they don't capitalize off of that double overtime win last week at home against Pittsburgh, and that's the big thing. You can lose to Pittsburgh, at home, on the road, maybe in a double overtime game, but you never want to go, back-to-back visits to Philadelphia and lose to a Temple team who hasn't won in the Big East this season. So it's going to be probably a tough week, to say the least, for Paul Pasqualoni.
No question about it. Temple wins for the first time going back to the 02 season in Big East play. As we look at final statistics, the turnovers, Syracuse, 2 of those turnovers resulted in 10 points for the Owls. Rush yardage, 285 to 235. Syracuse passed it a little bit better, but there's the points off of turnovers. It turned out to be the difference in this 10-point game.
Yeah, Walter Washington was just a little bit better than Perry Patterson and Damian Rhodes. I think he just was able to carry the load offensively for Temple. They couldn't find an answer to stop his legs in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and that's where they won the football game.
Walter Washington, the big start today here in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. Back to wrap things up in a moment. 34-24, the Owls get their first win of the Big East season. It was a big one. 34-24, Temple over Syracuse, as Syracuse falls to 5-5 overall, 3-2 in the Big East. Temple goes to 1-4 in the Big East, 2-8 overall. Other scores, 36-17 in the fourth. BC, we'll see BC next week here in Philadelphia. And West Virginia going to be tagged with its first loss. So that game next week, BC and Temple, is critical. That'll do it. Final score, Temple 34-24. BC Temple next week. For John Kingemi, I'm Dave Sims. This has been a presentation of ESPN Regional TV, the leader in collegiate sports. So long, everybody. We'll see you next week, noontime. Boston College and Temple. We'll get to see more of Walter Washington, Bobby Wallace, and those Temple Owls. We'll see you next week. Enjoy.